Hello, everyone, again. Welcome. Before we get started, we start praying. I just want to make sure everybody has a glass jar. If you don't have a glass jar, raise your hand. Okay. All right. She has them over there. All right, you need to have a spoon. You need to have a Dixie cup. Okay. Dixie cup over there. And everybody have a spoon, a Dixie cup? And a souffle cup? Souffle, that one. Souffle cup. Yep. Okay, and then everybody should have a cup full of ice. But if you're husband and wife, you share. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Around the corner. What's that? Around the corner. The spoons. Okay. All right, so we're all ready? Everybody has their packets, pens, listening ears. The one we gave out yesterday, yes. Who needs one? What happened to your packet from yesterday? Oh, well, welcome. We'll get you one. I'll get one. All right, so we just need 2 more packets. She needs a set. Team, she needs a set of everything. She needs a glass jar, souffle, spoon, icer. 2. Thank you, Sarah. With this ice, this young lady right here next to Helen. Who needs a packet? Come on in, welcome. Take a seat. Molasses we're doing. No, because we're doing Bentonite clay first. But it's yes, ma'am. All right, everybody has all their supplies? Are we all good? We're all ready to learn? Yes. All righty. Well, can we bow our heads in prayer? All right. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, it's such a great joy to be together with everyone here. And Lord, our hearts are full. We're thankful that we can come together to learn. And we pray, Father, that you would open up our minds, give us wisdom, give us understanding, give us clarity of mind, and to be able to retain the information and be able to share it, that we would put all of what we're learning into practice, not for ourselves, but for our families, our friends, our neighbors, a stranger, that we will be utilized to help others, to help them to see that you love them, that you care for them, and that you're interested in them, and that you want them to live vibrantly for you. So be with us now as we continue with our last workshop. May everyone who is here and those who are watching online be blessed, because we know that you want us to learn and you love us so much. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on our toolbox that we use for Old Mountain. I call it Old Mountain Remedies because I'm from the mountains. And if you have a toolbox, do you just have a flathead screwdriver in it? If you want to work on if you want to take the plugs out of your car, do you take a flathead screwdriver? Can you use a hammer? Can you use a Phillips screwdriver? Not take the plugs out. So there's different tools that you have for different needs. And so we've explored some tools yesterday. We're going to explore some more tools today. The first tool we're going to look at is a hydrotherapy tool. And hydrotherapy is amazing. Has anyone never done hydrotherapy? Never. So that means you've never taken a bath. Hydro, water, therapy. Can a shower be therapeutic? Can a bath be therapeutic? It is for Mary Lou. I mean, Mary Lou loves a bath. Now, y'all women like baths, sometimes more than us fellers. But baths are very therapeutic. I can tell when Mary Lou's finished with her bath because she's screaming. And it's even downstairs. Because she turns it plumb cold. We have mountain spring water. And it gets plumb cold, especially in the wintertime. And what does that do? It's going to close the pores. It's going to increase the white cells. It's also going to wake her up. For people, now we don't do coffee, but if you do coffee and you do a cold shower, you don't need coffee. I mean, you can just rub yourself real good and holler and scream and you're awake. But there's all kinds of hydrotherapy. And did you take hydrotherapy in PT? Very much. Yes. Around 92, they quit paying me for hydrotherapy in PT. And I asked the intermediaries, insurance companies, why did you quit paying us? Well, they said, well, it's more expensive, it's a lot labor intensive, and drugs are cheaper. And hydrotherapy is an amazing tool. It can increase vascular flow. It can reduce vascular flow. If you were a highfalutin horse in Lexington, Kentucky, let's say you were Secretariat, they would use hydrotherapy on your knee if you had leg problems. If you were Roger Staubach in sports medicine and you had problems, they would do hydrotherapy. But for us typical humans, they quit using it on us years ago because of just a reimbursement issue. But you can do hydrotherapy at home. And we'd like to explore hydrotherapy today. I've got Mary Lou's got a thing over there. You've heard me talk a lot about Agatha Thrash. Agatha Thrash was a real good friend of mine, taught me a lot, reading her books and just talking to her. I'd call her up and say, help me out with this or whatever. Well, one of her assistants wrote this set. It's a book on indications and contraindications for hydrotherapy. And then this is a DVD on how to actually do those different modalities. And one of the problems that you have sometimes with massage and hydrotherapy is, what's the word I want to use? Exposure. Well, she's very cautious on exposure here, so it's very appropriate. And so we're going to, as we have time today, maybe get into some more hydrotherapies. But you've done ice massage before, yes?
Everybody loves it, especially people from the Caribbean.
Oh, okay. Well, come help me with it. Come help me with it. This guy's the expert in it. Come on. Yes. So he knows what he's doing. So what you're going to do is while he starts talking about it and the benefits, the physiological effects of it, take your cups, and tear it down. If it'll tear, it may not tear. It needs to tear. Need a knife. Yeah. My knife is back. Do you know where my knife is? Let me tell you where my knife is. I'm walking to the airport in Knoxville, and I go, oh, no, I've already dropped Mary Lou off. And I parked the car, and I'm getting ready to walk into the airport, and I go, did I bring my knife? Oh, no, I brought my knife. So I have this special place at the Knoxville airport that I hide my knife when I forget. And I look, nobody is around, and I hit it, put some leaves around it. I'll get it tomorrow when I get back home. But anyway. So, is there scissors or something they can cut these with?
Just push it up, sir.
Oh, there we go.
Push up.
There we go.
Like that.
Oh, there you go. Y'all smart. Okay, tell us the advantages. What are we doing here?
We are freezing the tissues. No, we are not freezing tissues. We are making them cold. We are vasoconstricting. We are decreasing inflammation.
And tell us about the stages. It's going to go through some stages of feeling. And how long do you go for an hour or how long?
No. Stages of feeling. Most people quit after stage like 1, 2, because it's going to be cold, right? Then it's going to be burning. That's usually what people don't make it through.
Yes.
The burning process the nerves are talking to you. They're saying, this is uncomfortable and I don't want to do this. But what happens after burning? You don't feel it. The nerves now have shut down. The burning is going away and you feel good. Yeah. It feels good to be numb.
So what would you use that on?
It could be a quick injury. It could be an ankle sprain. It could be a low back that's hurting. It could be a bug bite.
How about a shoulder pain?
Absolutely. Rotator cuff injuries.
Yeah. Knee?
Total knees, knee injury.
So the ice bath that the athletes, after the game, football players, they put a tub full of an ice bath. That's the purpose, is just to numb all the hits and everything they took throughout the game.
You want to cover that?
I'll try. Imagine you are in football, you're in basketball, you're getting hit, you're getting muscle contusions, you're getting bruises, you're overworking your muscles. You're working like the Secretariat. You're working at an extreme level for at least an hour, hour and a half. Your body it's in shock. You got to cool it down so it doesn't become a negative. Delayed onset muscle soreness, muscle tears, all those elbows, knees, all those things that have happened throughout the game. Cooling you down will decrease the overall inflammation after the game. The recovery period will be much quicker, and you will rebound back faster because these guys play night after night, maybe skipping a night. But in order to stay at that high optimal level of function, these guys have the money. They have the ability to do what we don't usually get to do.
So we're going to partner up. Everybody choose a partner. And what you're going to do is you're going to treat your partner, and then your partner's going to treat you. So show us what they're going to do. Let's say I've got an elbow issue.
Okay, elbows are bony, so typically you're not going to go right on the bone. You're going to find the area that's more tender, which would usually be like ligamentous or tendinous.
So normally, I'll tell folks, be sure to wet the top because it's cold, it's sticky, but we've been waiting long enough, it started to melt. So it's wet enough on top. But if you pull it straight out of the freezer, put some water on it first.
Does everybody have a partner?
So I'm getting rid of the water. I mean, it's going to get wet. It's ice on warm tissues. So I'm just setting it on the warm tissues, and I'm going to keep going. I'm just keeping it spinning. I'm not setting it in one spot.
Why are you turning? Why are you doing it?
I'm rotating it just to give, it's actually like an ice massage too. It's not just to just put it on the one spot. You don't want to get hypothermic in that area. You don't want to damage the tissues. And as far as time, really you want to go a couple minutes past the numb phase. You don't want to stop when it's burning. When people complain that it's cold, try to convince them to keep going. As a way, you're a salesperson because you got to sell something that's uncomfortable. How's everybody doing?
Starting to get a little painful.
Is it starting to burn, starting to hurt? How you doing?
Great.
You love it, right? Oh, I'll fall asleep with an ice bag on my low back.
Yeah.
When it's burning, keep doing it.
Yes.
Well,
Until it
yes.
goes numb.
Until it goes numb.
Yeah, you're going to want to stop at the burn because that's when it's most uncomfortable. Fight through the burn. Try to get to the numb. Everybody's happy, right? No complaints, no crying. I like to tell my patients, there's no crying in therapy. How you doing?
Good.
Are you numb yet?
Not yet. Almost.
You're all in, man. You want to do this.
Yeah. Let's teach.
I don't get to teach I teach patients every day. I teach patients' families every day.
Yeah.
Normally you would get the person set up more comfortably than how Mr. Walt's set up. He's kind of holding his shoulder awkward, which could actually damage his shoulder. You mind relaxing that arm? Yeah. So you want that person to be relaxed. Shouldn't be holding at some weird angle where you're going to end up injured somewhere else later.
When do we stop?
Are you numb yet?
Yeah.
A couple more minutes.
You want it to last a while.
Yeah, you got to go a couple minutes past numb. How you doing?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm moving small circles, not big circles, because you do want to get the area cold, very cold. You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. So, how's it feel, y'all? Yeah. So let me share a story with you. Again, let's go back to Dr. Agatha Thrash. So Dr. Agatha, she was teaching, she would teach people how to do sutures. And so she'd teach classes like this and teach lay people how to suture if they were out in the woods and they needed help. And so she would say, 2 minutes of ice gives 2 minutes of suturing. And so you get your sutures, your equipment ready, and you need to sew this up. And so then you would use ice on there like this, the ice massage, for 2 minutes, and it would numb it enough to suture. Well, if it started waking up again, just stop where you are. Just slow down. Do some more. And then 2 more minutes gives you 2 more minutes of suture. And she says, if that doesn't work, just use 4 strong men. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we'll come back, hopefully, to some more hydrotherapy. Give him a hand. Hydrotherapy is amazing. And as we look at hydrotherapy, we have different kinds. Is water therapy to our bodies inside? Water is actually the train car that carries the nutrients throughout the body, especially the most distal part of the further away parts of the body. If you're dehydrated, they don't get as much nutrition. And then we have hydrotherapy inside by drinking. Some people use enemas, colonics. That's hydrotherapy. And then we use external water, whether we're bathing or we're doing something like this. And hopefully we'll have time to come back to some more. The next item I'd like to look at is a facial. And those of y'all that would like to do a facial today, we're going to do 2 facials. Yes, ma'am? Volunteer. All right. So we're going to do, you need a partner. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 types of facials. 2 types of facials. The first one is we're going to use a bentonite clay, and you want a very powdery type clay. Now, do you ever learn from your mistakes? Like one time Mary Lou told me when we started getting into smoothies, she gave me a bunch of bananas and said, freeze them. I said, okay, so I stuck them in the freezer. She didn't realize what I'd done until later, and she waited for me to get home, I think, to teach me a lesson. And she said, would you peel those bananas? All right. They don't peel. They just got mushy and threw them away. Well, one thing I learned another time, we learn a lot. So bentonite clay, the cheapest place to buy bentonite clay is at the co-op, farmer's co-op, because they feed it to cows, and it helps to purify detox their colon. Don't buy that stuff for this. What I did is I bought a 50-pound bag, and it's a little clumpy, and so I wanted it like what you have right here. So how do you do that? I just bought Mary Lou a Vitamix. And so I ran those 50 pounds through her Vitamix. When I finished, the base of her Vitamix was like a loose tooth. I mean, it wallered all over the place. I mean, it totally ruined them bearings. And so, fortunately, Vitamix was good, and I sent it to them. They sent me another one because I just bought the thing. Don't put it in a Vitamix. So you want to buy one that is powdery like this to do a good job. it works best if you do it the day before. Now, y'all women are different than we are. We would do therapies for our patients, and we had men and we had women. Men doing men, ladies doing ladies. The guys did not like this one. They did not like this one. The women, I don't know why y'all like it, but they did. And so the last day of therapy, they got to choose whatever massage, whatever hydrotherapy, whatever therapy they enjoyed the most. They got to repeat that the last day. And the ladies enjoyed this one the most. They would do their whole body. The only thing that was left on was their panties, and their female therapist would put it all over their body. And they would just, sit there for 30 minutes, and they would dry out. And what happens is the bentonite clay draws like activated charcoal draws. And Colombia would use clay. Venezuela, I know, does clay. South America, China does it a little different, and I'll explain that. And the clay pulls and draws out toxins and is an amazing detoxer. And it cleans your skin just real super good. The guys had no interest in some guy smattering something all over themselves. I don't want some guy going and doing that to me. That's just not the way we're made, right? I don't know. And so the ladies liked it. But it's best to do it if you make it the day before. And you can do it now as we're getting ready to do. And we're only going to do the face. And you just put it on your face. We're going to leave it for 30 minutes. And then you go out and you wash your face off, come back, and we're doing the second facial where we're going to then put something that's really good. And I'll tell you what it is then. So if you're in China, now China doesn't as much, they use clay, but they don't smear it on you like that. They just dig a hole and bury you. So let's say that you're having an asthmatic attack in China, Malaysia, Indonesia, and that part of the world. What they will do is they will strip your top, nothing, top up, and they will take stinging nettle. Y'all know what stinging nettle is. It grows here. And they take stinging nettle, and they just whoop your chest good, and they whoop your back good, and it will stop an asthmatic attack. Now, once you can start breathing again, I mean, you're on fire. That stinging nettle just caught you on fire. That's the bush. That you go and ride your bicycle through when you're a kid, and it stings your legs. And then, I mean, they've whooped their chest and they've whooped their back, and I mean, they are on fire. The asthma stops. So then what they do is they've dug a hole and they bury them in the mud. And just their head is sticking out. And then they'll put a little umbrella above you so that you don't burn your head. And that clay will pull out the toxins from that stinging, from the stinging nettle. Now, if you live in Virginia, Tennessee, Carolinas, we have something called jewelweed, also called touch-me-not. Does that grow here? It grows, you know jewelweed? Jewelweed also, it's the best thing for poison ivy, poison oak, poison sumac. Excellent. But also you can smear it all over you if you've gotten into poison ivy, and it will pull that out so you don't have to get down in a hole. So what we're going to do is we're going to have some fun here. Y'all got water? I need water. I got water here. Good. So we're going to pour enough in here that we can have, the ladies are going to understand this better than us guys because we don't normally do this. You know the mask that you would put on your face? You want that viscosity. You want that thickness. So add a little, keep going, because if you get too much water, you're going to have too much water. Then we'd have to add more, find some more powder. But start adding your water and stirring it, adding your water and stirring it till you get the viscosity, the thickness. You're doing it in here. You're doing it here, and you've got bentonite clay in it. Everybody got bentonite clay? It's the gray clay. It's in this container here. Oh, good. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. There's 1 teaspoon of clay in there. And you're going to put enough water to make that like a mask. Pardon? Oh, we're not doing anything with the glass one right now. That's later. All we're doing now is putting enough water into the clay to make it the same viscosity of a facial clay.
Teaspoon of clay and then water in your little Dixie cup.
Now, you know those Tupperware containers you can get, or those whatever containers you can get in Walmart that about Rubbermaid, yes, they're about that big. We literally would make it in that, and we would use that much doing our patients. And it would tomorrow, if you waited till tomorrow, it would be a little more conducive to what we're about to do. But what you want to do is get your partner, and your partner is going to smear this on your face, on your forehead, your cheeks, and on your face. Don't worry about the neck. You're just doing from the chin up, your forehead, and on your face. Oh, you wouldn't want Farmers Co-op. It's the wrong stuff. You can get it from your local health food store or on Amazon. There's different grades. Yes. You want the one that, there you go, like that. Yeah, like that there. Well, the Farmers Co-op's going to be different, so anything on here is going to be fine. Yes. You can look for food grade, and that way you can even take it internally. If it's, powder. Yeah, you can just, like this one right here, Bentonite clay powder. Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I put it in the blender. And you roll in the blender.
Oh, yeah.
So you take a sauce and you mix it. So put it in the blender.
Okay, yes. Does anybody need one up here? Anybody need some more? Anybody not get one? You want one? No. You don't want to. No, you can get it at Amazon or online. You want it food grade.
Always food grade.
Yes. You want it food grade because you're still transdermally absorbing it. And so you want to make sure it's clean. Oh. Go to your local health food store. They would.
That looks great.
Are you doing pictures?
Yes.
These pictures because we need to
Well, it may take a minute because ours was too thick and it just clipped right on her face.
See the difference already? You barely recognize me, right?
Yes.
We're not getting her best one soon. She's only doing half her face.
How long did you leave it on? Like half an hour?
Don't wipe it off.
It's not cheap, you know what I mean? You have it from they have it over there?
My wife is massaging it right into my flesh.
Is that the bag that it came from there, that gray bag?
Yes.
Can I just take
Sure. So how's it feel, y'all? Pardon? Yes, we're going to let it get hard over about 30 minutes, and then you'll go to the bathroom and wash it off.
I haven't even gotten. I'm doing her. Come on, Sonia.
know, it does feel good though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lee. I love it.
That's why I look so young. 6 years old.
Yeah, I know. Is this a clay mask?
She's taking hers off.
Samsonite? Bentonite.
That's the one the mountain.
So we're going to transition and go over to another poultice. We did poultices yesterday. We're getting ready to do another type of poultice. Now, don't make the mistake I made. It sounds like I make a bunch of mistakes. Well, I do. You learn. Remember when you walked, you fell down. Your mama didn't say you'll never walk again. Come on, stand up again. So you make mistakes. It's true. Well, so I was at the clinic before I came back to Tennessee 21 years ago, and I had this guy come over, and he was from England. He was from London, and he had an external hemorrhoid that they could not repair in London. And he just had major pain. And so he flew over to Virginia. I was outside of D.C., and we were doing several treatments. One treatment we were doing, another hydrotherapy treatment, and I'll show you how it works. You take a potty chair. Y'all know what a potty chair is? No. Okay, a potty chair is the chair that you have a little bucket in it, and you put by your bed, and you can use that. So you take the bucket out. Have you ever done the douche? Yes. Have you ever done the douche? The best douche I ever had was in Venezuela. Yeah, Venezuela. It was a waterfall. Oh, man, I just backed up to it. Oh, it felt so good. And so firemen, we use it also where we'll take a fire hose. Oh, there you go. And after we are black, gray, just dirty as could be. and we'll take and we'll hose each other off. Oh, it feels so good, that hose on you. Well, the douche is where we take a hose with a diameter about 1 inch in diameter, and you can control the water to where it's cold and hot like a shower head. So we had the man, we took the chair out. He sits down with no underwear on, and as he sits down, the hemorrhoid would protrude. Then we get down behind him, and we take the the hose. Guys, it's painful, so don't do it real hard, like the fire hose. So turn it down kind of low, and you get a temperature that is warm and cool. Now, sometimes we do hot and cold. If a person has neuropathy, you don't do hot and cold. If you have a bad wound, you don't do hot and cold. You do warm and cool. Textbook warm is 102, 103, but 100 is sometimes better. And then cool is 70. Now, so you go down here and you spray the hemorrhoid, and you're massaging the hemorrhoid with the warm water for 3 minutes. And then you turn it cool, about 70 degrees, for 1 minute. And you're going warm, cool, 3 minutes, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 1 minute, for 7 times. And you can do that twice a day. And what it does, as we were talking earlier, vasoconstriction, vasodilation, vasoconstriction, it's like an inline pump, pumping more blood to the area. Well, that evening he comes to me to get his cabbage poultice. So I don't know where my staff were. It was 9 o'clock at night. I was still working in the office. He comes and knocks on the door. He says, Walt, I can't find anybody to get me my poultice. I said, okay, let me get it for you. So I went up to dietary, and all we had was red cabbage. That was the mistake. I said, okay, we don't have any green cabbage like y'all have there. I'll just use a red cabbage. So I take the red cabbage, and I used it instead of the green. The next morning, he reported to me that it stained his underwear, stained his pajamas, stained the bedding, the sheets, stained the blanket, stained the carpet. I made a mess. I would have been better to skip it or gone into town and got him green cabbage. Do not use red cabbage. Use green cabbage. And so what we use it for, it can be for pain. It can be for a wound. And so what you do is you take the cabbage and you make it bleed. And here's how you do it. So you're fracturing the cells there. Put it on the affected area and bandage it. We use it for wounds, for wound care. We use it for pain. Let's say someone gets a broken arm and you need something for pain. It literally can help with a broken arm, helping with that pain management. So take something that you can use to pound it, and you want to pound it and fracture it, and then you can then place it on your arm. And I'm going to pull up a picture here of something here. How's it going? You got it kind of taken care of there? So you take it, apply it to the affected area, and that can be used for pain. Let's say pain in the shoulder, pain in the knee, and it's used for pain. It's a cabbage poultice. You can use it on the breast for, let's say, a woman has mastitis. But you have to be careful. I believe, Mary Lou, correct me if I'm wrong, cabbage poultice dry up? That's right. So be careful. She's going to dry up. So let's say you have a lady that wants to dry up from breastfeeding. You can use a cabbage poultice. So be careful using it for mastitis if you don't want to stop the breastfeeding. Yes? It can draw up poisons, yes. So let me show you something. Yes? I would do it every couple hours. Every couple hours. Now, let's take a yes, any questions? Okay, let's look up here real quick and look at the benefits of hydrotherapy. So this guy, he's diabetic. It looks like a shark got a hold of his foot, doesn't it? He's got diabetes. He's down in the Caribbean. We're doing this over the telephone. His physician calls me, his nephrologist calls me and says, we're at the point that we're going to have to amputate the foot. Is there anything we can do? Not only does he have diabetes, not only does he have a foot about to go off, he also has osteomyelitis, which is infection in the bone. I'll show you. That's week 2. That's week 4, and we're ready for a graft. Is that amazing? You've done wound care. We couldn't do that when I worked in regular health care. What did we do? And also, not only is the diabetes gone in 30 days, not only is the wound filled out, osteomyelitis is also gone. Yes? You could use cabbage poultice for that. You could use it for that, yes. And so let me share with you what we used. First thing, what did we use? Prayer, exactly. First thing we used is prayer because God's the one who makes the healing work. So this fella, remember what I used if I'm wanting to really give good nutrition to somebody? I juiced him. I juiced him vegetable juice for 30 days. That's like hyperalimentation, TPN, total parental nutrition, going straight in. He's getting copious amounts of good nutrition. So we know in wound care, there's several keys. Nutrition, also reduce capillary pressure, correct? Capillary pressure is the issue. So we got to keep him off this foot. And I mean, we're gone past the issue really of capillary pressure. But so first we juice him. The next item, he has osteomyelitis, which is an infection, a bone infection. So we used Ailments. We used a teaspoon twice a day. It takes 24 cloves of garlic to make 1 drop of Ailments. And so you're over 2,200 and some cloves of garlic in a teaspoon. We're doing that twice a day to attack the osteomyelitis. Then, next thing is we do hydrotherapy. We do warm and cool, not hot and cold. This foot cannot tolerate. Actually, I learned something on this foot. We did textbook at 102, 103, and we literally got blistering at the top of the foot. He could not do textbook. We did 100 degrees, and he did fine. So ever since, I've gone to 100 degrees instead of the textbook. So we did warm, 100 degrees, 3 minutes. Cool, 70 degrees for 1 minute. Warm 3, cool 1. Warm 3, cool 1. Vasoconstriction. Actually, you got vasodilation, vasoconstriction, vasodilation, vasoconstriction. The warm is vasodilation, the cool is vasoconstriction. And we did that 7 times in the morning. Then, again, he has osteomyelitis. I need to heal the infection. So we sprayed all in his foot area Ailments with a spray, the liquid Ailments. Then we put a salve in there. The salve was, see if this sounds familiar, frankincense, golden seal, myrrh. Sound familiar? And then I normally would use pine sap, but we didn't have pine sap. So we used bee propolis. Bee propolis is amazing. but I like pine sap a lot. And we'll talk about pine sap in a minute. We use pine sap and then some aloe vera. Mix it together. Aloe vera gel, I like gel better, or aloe vera juice. Mixed it together. And you want to paint it on there. You don't want to mix, nurses remember and PT remember when we used to pack it full of betadine and brown sugar? Don't want to pack it. All we're doing is just painting the area, because in 12 hours, we're going to want that to come off because we're going to do it again. And so we just painted the area with the salve, and then we could have either used a cabbage poultice, which is used for this, or a charcoal poultice. And we did a charcoal poultice, is the one that we used. And put that on there. Morning, evening, repeated it every evening. And the hydrotherapy washed off that salve that we had put on there. And again, we start to have filling here. But here's the problem. I get a call from the doc. She says, Walt, you got to talk to this guy. He's walking around. It was Barbados. He says, Walt, you got to get this guy quit walking. He was walking with this foot on the ground. So I get him on the phone. I said, sir, you're doing really well, but you got osteomyelitis. I don't want more infection. So here's what I need you to do from now on. I want you to walk where your foot is, use crutches, and it's got to stay above your knee. I just figured I gave him somewhere to at least try to mentally say. I said, keep it above the knee so that you don't get it on the ground. Because if I said just keep it off the ground, it might touch the ground every once in a while. So I told him above the knee. So the next 2 weeks, he goes around town with crutches with his foot up, and he does a good job. But you notice how we're starting to fill out there. The heel's starting to fill in there, and we're starting to get closure. And that's what we have at the end of 4 weeks. We have full closure at the heel. We've got some good blood supply. It's now ready for a graft. And that's what God can do with natural remedies. Again, you got to have different tools to work on something. I mean, if you're wanting to work on your car, you just don't have a ratchet wrench. You use various tools. And so we have various tools. There's a question. Yes, ma'am.
Why did they let it go so far?
I can't answer that. I wasn't there. I don't know. I just know they called me at the 11th hour and said, we're about to amputate. I don't know.
The benefit, I may have missed in your other sessions, the benefit of the hot and the cold is for what?
Vascular flow. Perfect health is perfect circulation. So here's the key. This is your key to health. You've got to have a healthy blood cell. And a surgeon told me many years ago, he said, Walt, keep the bad stuff out of the blood. What's some bad stuff that you could get in your blood? Toxins, poison, alcohol, infections, tobacco. Yeah. Processed foods, sugar. Yeah. You want to keep the bad stuff out of the blood cell. But what's good stuff that you need in there? You got to have good fats, proteins, complex carbohydrates, vitamins, which are the catalysts that kick on the fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. Then you got to have minerals, which is the catalyst that kicks on the vitamins, which is the catalyst that kicks on the fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. You got to have minerals, and we don't have adequate mineralization today. And then you've got to have oxygen. You've got to have water. You've got to have hormones. All these stuff, the good stuff has to be in the blood. So it's two things. Then you have to have good perfusion. You've got to have good blood flow. And blood flow is huge. And what's one of the best things that we can do to improve our blood flow? Exercise, move. That's not only going to get your blood flow going, it's going to get your lymphatic system moving the toxins out also. So that's what we used on him. And it's so cool to use these simple natural things. I mentioned pine sap. Now, a lady showed me her finger a little while ago, and she's having problems with cutting her finger. One of the best things who's ever used pine sap? Nobody. Oh, it's cool. Y'all have pine trees here, yes? I mean, we had them in Orlando and St. Pete. Pine sap, you can just go bark your pine tree and get some pine sap off. I use it for, all 6 of my grandkids have used it for teething. It works better than any teething stuff I've ever found. The only time you cannot use pine sap on a wound, if it is a puncture wound. An example, One time, Mary Lou, she was working in the garden, cut her hand slap open with something in the garden. So I took her into work. It needed sutures. And so a good friend of mine, Franklin, was there. He was an ER doc at the time. And I said, Franklin, can you suture this thing up? He goes, yeah, but do you mind if I put something in there first? Can we experiment? I said, sure, let's do it. And so he put pine sap in there and then sutured it up. It healed much faster. He said, this is something I'm finding is working well. But a puncture wound, such as a nail, a dog bite, cat bite, where it punctures, if you cannot irrigate that area out, if you cannot clean that area out, you can have pathogen growth still stay in there, and then what happens, wound care folks? It tunnels out. And so it will heal so fast on the top that it will tunnel and it will come back. So pine sap, pathogens will not grow in it, and it heals the skin very rapidly. So it's a great tool to use. I use in my wound salves. I put pine sap in my wound salves now. I didn't have it for him, but now I put it in my wound salve. So if you cut, where's the lady cut her finger? Okay, so when you cut your finger, just put one of the most painful cuts or irritating cuts can be a paper cut. They're a pain. Well, so what happens is put a little pine sap on there. One, won't have any pathogen growth, and it increases the healing factor. It's amazing how quick it'll heal. Now, another item that, like what you have currently, that has somewhat healed, but it's not fully, is I use something like this that has like calendula or calendula, as highfalutin people say. It may have some plantain. It might have, no, it's not the plantain. It has plantain. It's not plantain. It's plantain. It's the plant, not the banana-looking thing. And it also has comfrey and just some simple salves that work. Herbs are amazing. I was in Africa, and it was the first time I went to Africa. It's called Old Mountain Remedy Salve, but it's got all kinds of herbs in it. You can look at it. And so I was in Africa, and so I'm in Rwanda. I'm in what's called the wilderness thing, and so I forgot the park. I'm in the park, and at the park there's lions, there's elephants, there's all kinds of stuff in there, crocodiles and whatever. And so the guy who's the ranger, when I'm getting in the vehicle, says, "Do not get in the grass." Now, why did he tell me not to get in the grass? Black mambas. He says there are black mambas there. When you get in there, you're 3 hours away from the nearest hospital. You will die, he tells me. You will die. So I asked him, I said, but what if I found me an old man that knew herbs? Do your old men have herbs that could be an anti-venom? And he looked to see if anybody's listening, and he goes, yes, there's 3 herbs that they pull together, and he says it will keep you alive. It's anti-venom. The problem is finding the old man and finding the 3 herbs when you get bit, so stay in the vehicle. But God has given us herbs to use all over the world. People would call me from Jamaica, and they say, what herbs do I need to use? Go find an old man, an old woman in Jamaica. Y'all got the herbs there. Use what God has given y'all. Don't have me ship it to you. Just go get it out of, like we have here. Y'all have got nettle. Nettle is the most nutritious herb in North America. Mary Lou and I were in Alaska. And remember the little short doctor I told you about who looked like she was 12 years old? She came over for breakfast one morning, and she brings over this pile of stuff in her hand. And you know what it was? It was nettle leaf in Alaska. And that's what we ate for breakfast. She simmered it in some water in the skillet, and we ate that for breakfast. When I go to Wisconsin, when I go to Minnesota, they put it in soups and stews. So God has all kinds of herbs that we can use. Time-wise, how long have we been on your facials? Pardon? 25 minutes. Time? Does it feel pretty dry? It's hard. Okay, ladies and men, go ahead and go to the bathrooms, wash it off, and we'll see you back in just a moment. Oh, wait a minute. Before you go, I'd like a facial picture. Can all the facial people come together and let's get a facial picture? Come on up. Where would you like them? Oh, right up there. Come on up here and get a facial picture, y'all.
Yeah, no, you feel it drying and pulling on the skin. Yeah.
I am smiling. The Ailments, Mary Lou's got it. It's garlic. It's really strong. It takes 24 cloves of garlic to make one drop of the Ailments. She's got it back over there. It's like an extract. Okay, we're going to real quick wash the faces and come on back.
You mentioned that amen coming in different forms. The amen you mentioned coming in different forms.
Ailments? Yes, it comes in liquid and capsules. Liquid's a lot more economical.
Is that the same thing you mentioned for active regeneration?
Oh, that's ARM, ARMED, or ARMED. That's ARMED. And that comes in a pill. So you're getting the charcoal in the ceiling, but the next one's going to be the glycerin with the herbs.
I don't have the same.
Spoons and water.
Doesn't honey have the same healing powers? Huh? Yeah, because I got my coworker. He had some surgery done. They asked him 2 weeks later. He said, "You don't even see a scar." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Okay, but Regular honey or manuka? I heard manuka.
Okay.
Okay.
So we've been told.
Good.
Yeah, I'll put it on my story, and believe it or not. Yeah, I put it on a band-aid.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get more, because I don't do that.
That's what I was told. Yeah, I had a boil in my knee, I had a boil in my leg, and it said it's mercury. Be careful of touch. I just healed up. Because I'm always praying, so. Yeah. But I was always thinking it's going to come back.
That's happening. My shoulder was just giving me a little. That's amazing. Yeah.
God medicine.
Oh, wow.
That is kind of amazing. I'm a carpet installer. I'm always kidding carpet. They told me I need to replace my knee many years ago.
Thank you.
Stopped working on it.
Well,
Everybody else just put, yes. So I don't know if that's too much.
well.
Look at your face, it's shiny.
I'm shocked how strong your skin. I mean, I was washing it off and I'm like, wow.
Where'd them big
Over here?
No, I don't see it.
No, I don't.
No, it's another. Oh, here we go. This one.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yankee fan, like that.
Oh, yeah. That's my Giants cup at home. I have a Giants cup also.
Football was still.
Yeah, I see it.
Still Patriots.
It's okay. What?
I didn't have a facial, but I got the cavity.
All right.
My ankle.
Well, my wife will agree to me. She's from Boston, but, you know.
I'm a Celtic fan.
Well, says y'all don't know. Listen, the house is always divided as far as sports are concerned. Right.
My boys all different sports too. Different things.
But I did that.
What I hold over my brother-in-law all the time. The only team that always beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl was the Giants. And
Perfect season too.
yeah. So I said, you know, you guys win the only years, this and that, but
Does Walt need one of those cups?
Do they do molasses down there?
Yeah.
What is the name of the clay? I must remember never to buy that stuff again. Had to chisel my face off. Wouldn't come off. Oh my God.
No, you look completely different.
It's amazing. Must remember to never buy that stuff. They had to chisel me off. The guys helped me, they had to hose me. Yeah, exactly. That's the same hose that was from.
They changed their mind from table to
Okay, how does your face feel? Can you feel it? Feel good? It's going to get even better now. It's going to even be better because we're going to use blackstrap molasses. Blackstrap molasses, and you're going to get your partner, and they're going to rub it on your face. Now, how many of y'all are from the South? So if you're from the South, you'll understand this. So Johnny comes to it's on the weekend, Johnny comes to breakfast. And Mama goes to Johnny, Johnny, you want some molasses for his waffles? Mama, how can I have molasses? I had no lasses. You got to be Southern for that. So now we're going to use blackstrap molasses, and literally your face is going to feel much, much better. It's going to be a lot softer. It's going to be shiner, and you're going to put all kinds of nutrition in there. So you're just going to do the same area that you did on the bentonite clay, but be cautious. You may need to get if you need a napkin, we've got napkins here that you can tuck in and use. If anybody needs any napkins, that way it doesn't get on your clothing. And so, but you want to put the blackstrap molasses on carefully onto your face. Again, you're putting the blackstrap molasses on your face at the same location that you had put your bentonite clay. And we're going to leave that on for another 30 minutes. You literally can go longer than 30 minutes with the blackstrap molasses. You don't want to really go longer than we found in our patients going longer than 30 minutes with the clay. It just dries, gets hard, dries the skin more so. So 30 minutes seems to be optimal on the bentonite clay. But on the blackstrap, you can leave it on longer than the 30 minutes. Put it good and thick. You want a good saturation, transdermal saturation.
The one you had?
Now you're sweet. Now you're sweet. Okay, I think you're good. Let me do your hand.
The first one, it's rolling, whatever toxins put out, that's when you put the new.
And it makes it and softer. He said it's even softer than before.
Well, it was on longer than half hour. Oh, did you?
Mama said there would be days like these. Listen to her. Mama said.
I can't touch anything.
Yes, ma'am. So how are we doing, y'all? Does it feel good? Oh, yeah, all right.
Question is, can you do the second part if you missed the first part of the mask?
Oh, yes, you can go ahead and do the blackstrap if you didn't do the first part. Absolutely. Because there's plenty of times I go places I don't have time to do the first part, but I do the second part. So, yes, you don't have to do the first, the bentonite clay. You're going to leave the the blackstrap molasses on for about 30 minutes or more. You can literally put it a little darker if you want to. You can put more on there. Blackstrap molasses is a great tool. I use it for iron deficiency. If someone's deficient in iron, you can use it to get the hemoglobin up, a tablespoon twice a day. There's sometimes I'm feeling kind of puny. Y'all know what puny is. You don't have much energy. You know what tard is, don't you? And so you're plum tard, you're puny, and you can take a tablespoon of this and it will perk you up because it's got manganese, it's got potassium, it's got some magnesium, it's got iron, or we call iron, and it's very healthy for y'all.
It's regular molasses.
It's regular molasses, and you want it unsulfured. Unsulfured. I don't know, Mary Lou's better on the brands than I am. She's the buyer. But I use one's called barrel molasses, but you just want it unsulfured. Yes. So what the blackstrap molasses is going to do is going to put nutrients into you. So what happened is the bentonite clay drew out. Now, then the bentonite clay is to put back in transdermally good nutrients, minerals. It's going to mineralize your face. Also molasses. The molasses is going to mineralize your face. Oh, I take a tablespoon. You can do a tablespoon if a person's low on iron. You can do a tablespoon twice a day. Mm-hmm. Yes, the question is it going to cause the cramping, the constipation? No. If you're looking for a pill, there's a company called Nature's Plus. Nature's Plus. They make one, I think it's 85 milligrams of elemental iron. I've used it for over 21 years, and it's called Hemoplex, and we've never had any problems with abdominal cramping or with constipation. It's Hemoplex works very, very well, a lot better than the iron pills do. No, Hemoplex. You can take as much as 2 if a person is really deficient in iron, but it works quite well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's true. A lot of times our food have the nutrients if we'll just take time and eat the right foods. Yes. Okay, so we're about there. the next thing we're going to make is a charcoal poultice. There's different ways of making a charcoal poultice. The first time Mary Lou ever used a charcoal poultice on me, I was still working in regular healthcare. It was a Sunday afternoon. I was mowing the yard. I ran over a yellow jacket nest, and I got stung with over 30-some yellow jackets. And I was just shaking, literally just shaking. So I go in the house, and Mary Lou started learning this before I did. I was so conventional in my mindset. And so she started dabbling in this before I did. And so she went and got some activated charcoal, had me lay down, and she just made it wet and applied it to each one of the 30-some stings. I quit shaking. I fell asleep. But then I woke back up shaking again. And so she was trying to figure out why was I then shaking again? What has changed? And so as she assessed, she saw that the charcoal now was powder instead of this mud-looking stuff. So she rehydrated it, put water in it again, hydrated it, and boom, I quit shaking again. And so it kept working. Then I found out you need a binder. You need a binder for the charcoal to hold it together. A lot of people will use they'll use flaxseed, ground flaxseed. You could use ground oatmeal, just something to bind it. And so we used that for years, the flaxseed, ground flaxseed, and the charcoal, and made the charcoal poultice. But then I hired a therapist out of Switzerland. And in Switzerland, they use psyllium powder. And that's what you have before you. And psyllium powder works even better. And it almost reminds me of silly putty. A charcoal poultice, if you use it on an open wound, it can tattoo the wound. I had a nurse from Colombia, and she was from Miami, but she was her family was from Colombia. They moved then when she was a little girl to Miami. And when she was a little girl, she had something happen to her hand right here, and her father put a charcoal poultice on it directly. And when she was with me, she was in her early 20s. I saw her then probably 20 years later, and she still had the little spot on her hand where she had the open wound, and they put a charcoal poultice directly on it. It tattooed it. That's what happened. The charcoal will tattoo an open wound. So you never wanted to apply a charcoal poultice directly to an open wound. You can put a wet paper towel in between. The charcoal will pull through the wet paper towel, and it will not tattoo. And so the psyllium powder is less prone to tattoo, but it works quite well. So we're going to do a charcoal poultice. Let me ask Mary Lou a question real quick. So what happens is we're going to take, and here's the challenging part. We're going to do 1 part charcoal, 1 part psyllium powder, and 5.5 parts water. Now, I usually do between 5 and 6, depending on the psyllium. All psyllium's not the same. And so sometimes if you do 5 and you did 6, then it's too dry. If you do 6 and you needed 5, it's too wet. So I do 5.5, and it's less prone. Then I figure out, well, this is where this is going to be. It's pretty particular using psyllium, where you don't have to worry as much about using the ground flaxseed or the oatmeal. You can just, if it's too wet, just add a little more oatmeal or more flaxseed. But on the psyllium, you cannot add. Once it's done, kind of like making epoxy. So the problem here is what part of these, and if you do 1 part, and then 5.5 parts, and you're using a teaspoon, what is your challenge? You cannot heap the water, right? You can't heap water. Therefore, you've got to have a level teaspoon, a level psyllium, and obviously the water is going to be level. So go ahead and you got a cup, and I need a cup here. Sure, cup. Is there a bigger cup? Y'all got a bigger cup? Okay. So we're going to take, I start with the psyllium powder because I don't want my dirty spoon that has been in the charcoal then to turn the psyllium black. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I'm going to take a teaspoon of one, a spoon of the other, and you can flatten it off. One to one. So you're going to flatten it off. So there's one. Two. So you want to take 1 part psyllium, 1 part charcoal. Go ahead and do that, and then we'll go to the next process. 1 part psyllium, 1 part charcoal into your cup. This is to make a charcoal poultice. Now where's your We're going to need to give everybody a cellophane. It's about this long.
Each person,
Each person. How many of those do you have?
a ton of them.
Okay. So if we put one on each table, would that be easy for y'all? They can tell.
That's better.
Okay. How are you doing there? So we put you scraped off the top, 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon. Now this is very critical. Just like your 5.5, here's another critical thing. If I add the water now, the psyllium will congeal, the charcoal will not, and you'll be messy. So you've got black and you have tan. You do not want to see any black. You do not want to see any tan. You're going to stir it enough that it turns like a gray in color. And then we're going to do, once you've stirred it, where you see no gray, no black, you're going to put 5.5 spoonfuls of water in there and then start stirring it pretty fast. Yep. One of these. And then as soon as you get it in there, go ahead and start stirring it. You're going to stir it for 2 to 3 minutes until you get a black ball. At first you think he's plumb crazy. There's too much water. But it's going to turn into a black ball. 5.5 of water. No, I'm making one though. I'm writing one. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever you use, be consistent. Yeah, just whatever you use, be consistent. Who's that? Oh, really? Okay, thank you. Be sure to get all the charcoal down in those corners in the ceiling. It's going to be like
Psyllium spell S-I...
P-S-Y-L-L-I-U-M.
P...
Psyllium is P-S-Y-L-L-I-U-M. P-S-Y-L-L-I-U-M, kind of like pneumonia.
Completely missed it. Thank you. And where it come from?
Pardon?
What it comes from? What is it?
It's like the seeds from the plant planting. The little plant planting. It's like a seed. It comes from India.
Cool, thank you.
Is it like a ball yet? Yeah. Okay, now they're sending out some cellophane. And you want to take some cellophane. If I can borrow yours real quick, I'll show you. Yep. So you want to take a piece of cellophane. This is a hard part. This is the hardest part of the whole thing. Because cellophane sticks to itself. Normally what I do is I take one piece of cellophane. So I'm scraping it out and I'm putting it like this onto here.
Leave it like that?
I just lay it, and then we're going to lay a piece of cellophane on top of it and smash it out.
Okay, that's right.
I hope you guys are all learning.
Okay, he said smash it down.
No, I'm going to put that black thing on. I don't. Can you put it on? I want to put it on now.
Flat like a pancake?
Yes, sir. Smash it out about 1/4 of an inch thick. You're going to smash it down about 1/4 of an inch. Smash it down about 1/4 of an inch thick. Now, when you normally make a charcoal poultice, I'll do like who makes biscuits or cookies? Do you make one cookie at a time? Do you make one biscuit at a time? No. And so what you do is you make a mess of it. A mess means a lot. And then you take part of it and use it at a time, put it back in the refrigerator, and it will last in the refrigerator about 7 days. You know how if you don't eat grandma's bread fast enough, it will mold because it doesn't have preservatives in it. The psyllium does not have preservatives in it. Therefore, it can start to turn mildew kind of thing, mold kind of thing. And so if you have made too much, you put it in a Ziploc baggie, put it in the freezer. It will last years. Pull it out and put it in the microwave. It will thaw it up. Now be careful in the microwave though. The psyllium holds the heat significantly. So if you do warm it up to use it later, be careful. Make sure it's not too hot because it really holds the heat. So what you do is now you've made it, and let's say you've got a example. My daughter came one time. We were in Carolina. Still, I was in regular health care. I hadn't really moved into this yet. We'd start dabbling with it, but really I wasn't into it yet. And so Ashley comes, and she says, "Dad, look at my leg." And it was this nasty wound on her calf. I mean, it was nasty. I mean, it's as big as round as my ring finger on the tip. And it was very necrotic looking, nasty looking. So I said, okay. So I went next door to an old retired doc next door, Dr. Mundy. Dr. Mundy was in his 90s. And I said, "Doc Mundy," I said, "what do you think this is?" And he looked at it, and he knew me. He knew what I'd do if I found out what it was. And he said, "Virginia, get me a charcoal poultice out of the freezer." And so she gets a charcoal poultice already made up out of the freezer, warms it up, applies it. I said, "Dr. Mundy, what is that?" He goes, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just hang on. Just kept blowing me off. And so he puts it on there. And I mean, the calf was hard, red, and hot. Painful. And it looked nasty. He says, come back tomorrow night. I said, what is it? Don't worry about it. Just come back tomorrow night. Because he knew me. I would have gotten concerned if I knew what it was. The next night, I get off work. I go back home. I pick up Ashley. I take her to Dr. Mundy's house. And he takes it off. The redness was gone. The hardness was gone. The heat was gone. And it looked significantly better. A couple years ago. Now, that was probably 1998. 99 at the latest. Probably 1998. A couple years ago, Ashley comes up to me, Dad, which calf was that in? I don't remember. I think it was in this one here. And she says, there's no scars on my leg. None at all. Do you know what it was? It was a brown recluse bite. And Monday would not tell me because he knew that I would take her on into the ER to get it cut out. There was no scarring at all. And for many, many people over the years now, we've used just a charcoal poultice. Well, let me back up. I was wrong there. I lied to you. What do we first do? Pray. Yes, we pray. We put a charcoal poultice on there, and you can drink activated charcoal. That also detoxifies in the system, too. That's it. And that's what we use for brown recluse bites. It's phenomenal how well it works. I was at Station 2 one time. We have 2 fire stations, one up on the mountain, one on I-40. And we get dispatched to a person that had been stung who's allergic to bees. So Walter goes to get his med bag out of his truck. It's a better med bag than we have on the fire trucks. And he's starting to go get it. My phone rings. So I pull out my phone, and it's dispatch. And I said, hello? It was Karen. She said, Walt, where are you? I said, I'm at Station 2. She says, I'm hoping you're there. She says, it's so-and-so. Well, I knew this guy. He's very allergic to bees. And so I hollered to Walter. I said, it's so-and-so. He says, we're taking my truck. His pickup truck's a whole lot faster than a fire truck. And so we took the truck up to his house. He was his skin was literally as white as a piece of paper. He's at the time, he was still working military on and off, and he very ability to hurt you. And he would either be totally unresponsive or he was fighting you. Totally unresponsive, fighting you. Walter checked his blood pressure. Blood pressure was in the low 70s, over the low 40s. Pulse was up like 118, 120. And then he would come back fighting, and then he'd pass out again. Ambulance was at level 0. No ambulance. And so I said to his wife, I said, I wish I had some activated charcoal. She says, I bought some from you 2 years ago. And so she sends her brother in to get it. He brings in some charcoal briquettes from making a cookout. And I go, no, wrong ones. And so he goes back, and she sends him to the bathroom to get the container of activated charcoal. And I just poured it in my hand. Someone had a water bottle. I poured it, and I mixed it in my hand. And then I just he had 2 stings, one here, one here. And it wasn't bees. It was the white-faced hornets, which is even worse than a bee. And literally within 2 minutes, skin color came back, level of consciousness was normal, blood pressure had come back up. I think he was like 90-something over like low 70s, so he totally inverted that 70 number from a systolic to a diastolic. Pulse had come down, and he says, I'm fine now. I said, no, you're not okay now. Finally, we waited. The ambulance finally came. And so we convinced him to go in and let's get double checked. Let's make sure you're okay. So I tell the medic what I'd done. On the way, halfway to the hospital, the medic told him, I'm not going to get in trouble by the ER doc with all this mud on you. I'm taking this stuff off. He took it off. He told me within 1 minute his lips went numb and he passed out, and he didn't know anything until he got to the hospital. Amazing stuff. Activated charcoal. It works quite well. Leave it on as long as as effect. I would have left it on for the rest of the day to the next day. Yeah. Yes. Pardon? Oh, okay, with the plastic wrap. Okay, so let me show you. So, good point. So what you do, if I can get this thing open. If you have an open wound, put a wet paper towel over the open wound. If you don't have to worry about it. Then, stick. So I put the wet paper towel, then I put the activated charcoal, then you cut you a piece of a piece of cellophane to cover the top, because if it dries, it's going to be a problem. Plus, it's sticky; it's going to get on something. So I put a piece of wet paper towel, then I put Curlex on here to hold it, or roller gauze, and apply it. Normally, I'll leave a charcoal poultice in for, say, 12 hours, and then repeat. Thank you. A number of years ago, I had a sebaceous cyst right here, right there. And I was cutting around the nurse's station way too fast, in a hurry, and I bumped the nurse's station, and it's painful. I broke the cyst. It turned into a boil. So I put a charcoal poultice on it, and within 15 to 20 minutes, the pain would go away. Then when the pain would come back, it might be 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever. Then it had drawn all that it could draw, because it pulls through the tissue. And then I'd put another one on, pain would go away. And then when pain would come back, I'd put another one on. I went to Battle Creek, Michigan. And there was a physician up in Battle Creek, Michigan, who was treating breast cancer and lung cancer with charcoal poultices. And he would take a chuck, that's that blue thing, like a disposable pad, incontinent pad. And he was making it at the time with charcoal and ground up flaxseed. And these were huge monster poultices that he would put over the chest. If it was breast cancer, if it was lung cancer, he did the front of the lungs and the back of the lungs. He'd leave them on all night, and it would stink terrible the next morning where it had drawn out. Just read up on charcoal poultices. We use them for a lot of things. What's something I haven't mentioned we use them for, Mary Lou? Bites, stings, snake bite. Here you go. Here's a dental one. Let's say if you have an infected gum. That's the cool thing about this one. I used to take the ones that had charcoal and flaxseed, and I'd make me a little pouch, kind of like a tobacco pouch with paper towel, but this way you don't have to. You can tear off a little piece like this, or a little bit bigger, apply it between the gum where the infection is and the lip, and leave it there. And it will pull that infection. Quite interesting. Works very well. If a person has inflammation in their hand, it's interesting, that same doctor, Dr. Monday. So a couple years passed, maybe a year or two, maybe 2 years. And I went over, and his left hand was just really swollen. Well, I'd started learning some stuff. And I'd learned from him. And I said, Doc Monday, I said, your hand don't look good. I said, let me put a charcoal poultice on that. And I put a charcoal poultice on it and pulled that edema right out. They're great tools. They adsorb, but they do not absorb. Here's the difference. If I have this piece of paper towel, and I pour water on the table, and I go across it, it will absorb water. Yes? If I pour out flour, or y'all call flour, that you make cakes with or bread with, if you put flour on there, dry, and I go across it, it's going to just stick on there. That is adsorb. Charcoal, a teaspoon of charcoal has the surface area of a tennis court. If you look at charcoal, I could bring one up, but it looks like volcanic rock. it has a lot of surface area. And so it's a lot of surface area that whatever you're trying to adsorb sticks to. I have a customer. She works at Oak Ridge. She has a PhD in some science. Her specialty is charcoal. Now, industry will use charcoal to separate and pull things out of other materials. And there's different sizes of charcoal based on what you want to pull out. Well, it doesn't matter for us. Just any charcoal will work for what we're trying to do. But she said you can actually wash the charcoal, wash the toxins out, and industry uses it over and over again. Yes? Mm-hmm. So if you just did plain charcoal, like what Mary Lou did to me when I got stung by the yellow jackets, it's going to dry out pretty rapidly. It only draws when wet. And so you got to keep it moist. So you need some type of a binder to keep it moist, like flaxseed ground, oatmeal ground, something that will hold that moisture. Also, if you hold binding, I mean, this works so much better than the flaxseed. Look at that. Flaxseed wouldn't do that. It makes a mess. And it's less prone to tattoo. That is correct. Less prone to tattoo. So, anyway. Yes? So cook brown, great. There you go. Brown rice you could use. Throw it away. It's just yesterday we did a castor oil pack. There's a difference. Charcoal poultice pulls out of the body, and it collects poisons or whatever's there, or helps to pull out from the inflammation. A castor oil pack puts into the body transdermally, and so you can use that castor oil pack over and over and over again to rehydrate it with castor oil to put it back on there. Where charcoal, once it pulls out, throw it away because it's nasty. Yes, ma'am. So when I make it, if I'm making it for somebody to use right now, I use hot water. So that makes it warm. If a person makes it, and the reason you want it warm or hot is you want vasodilation on the tissues so that it adsorbs better through the tissue, pulls out of the body by vasodilation. If you have it where you've made it up and put it in the refrigerator or put it in the freezer, you just want to warm it up in the microwave or something. But be careful because this will hold the heat quite a bit and you want to make sure it's not going to burn you. About 5 to 7 days. So if you've made too much or haven't, just put it in a freezer bag, put it in the freezer, and it will last years. Yes. I used it on that foot that y'all saw. I put a charcoal poultice on that. That's a big foot, a big wound. Oh, you can't put pine sap in a puncture wound. Unless you can get in there and irrigate it out, clean it out really good. Yes, and you don't have it's hard to get into it, to clean down into it. Yes. I mean, you can try to clean it and, Epsom salt and squeeze it and whatever, but I just wouldn't use pine sap on that because I don't want to take a chance in sealing it up too fast. I've never used charcoal in warts. It'd be worth a try. I've never done it. Acne. The best thing I have found on acne is chaparral. Chaparral, Chaparell. So it's got 2 R's or 2 L's. I don't remember. It's got one. Chaparral comes from Flagstaff, Arizona, that area. The Navajo Indians use it a lot for skin issues. They'll actually make a paste and put it on their face like what you have right now. Stinks terrible. And it tastes even worse. It works very, very well. It's a blood purifier. It's also anti-cancer. And so a lot of folks will use it for cancer or blood purification. That's what acne we're doing is blood purification. So you can use the capsules. Kids aren't going to, Kids, oh, okay. So you can drink it as a tea. For cancer, you need more than just the capsules. You want to drink a tea. But chaparral's good. Watch the touching of the hand. Another thing I did is I noticed is, when I go to the beach, for part of my elementary school years, I lived in Orlando and St. Pete, and I'd go to the beach when I had acne, and it would really help. So I thought, well, what if I pour salt in my hand? And so every night I'd put salt in my hand, hydrate it, and put it. And it wasn't, it was Morton salt, and it helped. And it helped with it. And so if you put salt water, like with Celtic salt, it would even be better. And just put that on there, and then I just brushed off the salt before I went to bed, let it dry, and it did help. A lot of times for females, it's hormone issues. And one of the best things I found with hormone stabilization is wild yam cream. And Barbara talked about that when she was here earlier this year. And wild yam cream, we've used it for 20-some years for hormone issues. And it's, well, number one for hormones is nutrition. You got to have good nutrition. And then, your processed foods don't help, especially with acne. Oils don't help. So nutrition's big. And then the wild yam cream. With wild yam cream, it stabilizes progesterone. When you stabilize progesterone, you're stabilizing estrogen and you're stabilizing testosterone. Then also for hormones, we'll do like nettle tea, blown adrenals, stress. High school kids, the kids who get acne normally are, in school still. Yes, girls in their 20s and 30s still have problems sometimes, but that's more of a hormone issue. But the stress from school and what all blows the adrenals. Blown adrenals affects hormones. And so if you use the nettle, which is just super nutrients to help the adrenals, that helps. The other is flaxseed. Take 2 to 3 tablespoons twice a day, 2 to 3 tablespoons twice a day of flaxseed ground. Eat within 15 minutes because it oxidizes rapidly. But flaxseed has phytoestrogens in it, and it helps with the xenoestrogens, and it's a good, healthy phytoestrogen. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I only use the warm. Now, there's times I'll have room temperature because I don't want vasoconstriction. I'm not going to adsorb as much. So I always want the warm. Yes?
The poultice, you say you throw it away after you use it. Does that same thing happen with the potato?
Yes.
What if you took it, put it in the refrigerator, and then...
I wouldn't reuse a potato poultice. No. Because it's drawn out. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. Absolutely. He's saying that at one of the centers he went to, they used it for cancer. We did there. I use it from when I work with people now. We might use a charcoal poultice, we might use a castor oil pack, or we might use an herbal poultice. And if the person, definitely all night, but if they can even use it in the daytime, I encourage them also to use something in the daytime. Yes. Yes, so what you can do is you can cover it with, like if you do a charcoal poultice, you put it with, say, some saran wrap on top, and then you can adhere it either with some bandaging or with, say, some, I don't like putting plastic plumb around the body. Some people do plastic plumb around. The skin needs to breathe. And so you could use like an ace bandage or something to hold it on. Put the saran wrap over it. Yes, and then say put a 4x4 on top. Yes, something to hold it on. Yes, ma'am. Yes?
Any remedies for aging skin, like sagging?
So aging skin, an interesting tool that we're seeing very beneficial comes out of, I believe it's Taiwan, but it's the use of far infrared. You've got, and when we look, let's say this is the scope of what we can see. Right here is near infrared, right here is mid infrared, and out here is far infrared. Our eyes cannot see far infrared. It's kind of like a dog can hear things we can't hear. Well, insects can see far infrared that we can't. Well, far infrared is, and we're seeing it, we're using it and finding it beneficial. Far infrared can help with aging skin and making it look younger. Yes, absolutely. Hydration's important. One of the biggest things, don't smoke. Smoking is huge. And wound care, if a person's smoking, I've never had a wound heal good. You got vasoconstriction, it just doesn't work. I had a guy come to me one time with just a dinky little wound. He'd been to the VA. They'd treated him for months at the Veterans Administration. It would not heal. He came to me, and I tried for 2 weeks. It wouldn't heal. So I called a buddy of mine, a surgeon up in D.C. We used to work together, and he does a lot of wound care. And I said, Doc, I got a wound. Here's what it is. It's not healing. What are you doing? I told him what I did. He goes, well, that's what I do. He said, it should be healing. Does he smoke? I go, yes. He goes, you know it ain't going to heal. I said, you're right, sir. I messed up. I went back to the man and I said, sir, I messed up. It ain't going to heal till you quit smoking because you got vasoconstriction. I mean, already you got small vessels. It's even making them smaller. You're not going to have good perfusion, good oxygenation. And he goes, I ain't quitting smoking. I said, I can't help you anymore. I've already tried and it's not working. You got to quit smoking. If you use activated charcoal internally, do not use it within 2 hours of a prescription. If you're on birth control and you take this within 2 hours of your pill, it ain't working tonight. That's why we used it in the emergency rooms. That's why we used it on the ambulances. It's great. I had a nurse one time call me. Walt, I gave a patient way too much morphine, read the MAR wrong. What do? I said, protocol, charcoal. Fortunately, it was PO, and there was no problem. Totally absorbed that morphine right up. There was no negative outcomes. Amazing. Far infrared is a red light therapy, but there's 3 types of red light therapy. There's near, mid, and far. All of those, you can't see this one. Yes. Yes, it is. So LED does have benefit, but the far infrared that is by what's it called? It's a little square thing. No, it's ceramic. It's a ceramic light. The ceramic has more perfusion. See, what happens if far infrared, it changes the water molecule in the blood to where you have better perfusion. And you have better perfusion with the not the LED, but the ceramic light. So you're right. You don't want, it can benefit, but not as good as the one that's out of the ceramic. Mm. Yes. So the FDA has approved the one that has the ceramic. It's amazing. You can get a fireman, and we can test their urine after a house fire, and you can test the toxins. Like New Orleans Fire Department and other fire departments are now using far infrared saunas for the firemen to get in, and they'll get in it for just 20 minutes. And then they'll test the urines, and they don't have the toxicity level they had prior. It's pretty cool. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Just back, to that diabetic.
Yes.
So do you know what the outcome was of that? The final outcome was diabetes cured?
Yes.
You mentioned that 30 days you were juicing, basically providing nutrients. So what percentage of that nutritional value would what contribute to that healing? The effect of the healing.
I definitely, because we always, when I was in conventional care, we would always, have the dietitian looking at the labs, wanting to make sure we had good nutrition. So I learned there that nutrition is huge. And because of the diabetes also, I wanted to address that because it's a diabetic, wound initially. So I need to get rid of the root issues, the diabetes. And within the 30 days, he had a normal glucose. Now, I don't know what the A1C was because we still had 2 months prior that was part of that A1C. But yes, he had a normal blood sugar at the end of 1 month. Here's an example. Last time I went to Africa, in Rwanda, a lady comes in. She's got an A1. No, correction. She has a fasting of around 400. She's on insulin. She's on metformin, and the program I do in Rwanda is only 14 days. In 14 days, she's off her insulin, off her metformin, and she has a fasting of 115. The prior time I went to Rwanda, I had a lady come in. Also, hers was up in that 400 range, and in 14 days, she was off her metformin, off her insulin, and she was at 124, her morning fasting that last day. It's huge. When I left healthcare, I remember I told corporate, I said, I'm going to a place that reverses type 2 diabetes. And my boss at corporate looked at me and said, Walt, you're crazy. It cannot be done. And I said, they even improved type 1. And they looked at me and they said, you are stupid. That's what they told me. You're going to ruin your reputation. It cannot be done. Yes, it can be done. We're learning. You get to root cause. Yeah, amazing. Yes. So for type 2 diabetes, I find 3 big things that Dr. Walter Kempner found at Duke University. Number 1, you've got to shrink the cell to ideal body weight. And so I have a person stay on the program until they have ideal body weight, because that lady, we were managing it through diet, exercise, so she had not lost down to ideal body weight. I believe if she'd gone back home, she would have been back. So I wanted to stay on it so she stayed on the program that we were using until she had ideal body weight. And then the next thing Kempner found at Duke is you can have too much fat in the blood. It can be fat from oil, fat from dairy, fat from meat. And this is what's cool Kempner found. Dr. Walter Kempner, he was, again, we talked this morning, he was a German physician, also biochemistry. And Kempner found that when you stop all oil, you stop all dairy, stop all meat, the body will clean out the insulin receptors. It's kind of like if you're cooking a bunch of grease or whatever and you pour it down the kitchen sink, it's going to clog the kitchen sink. And Kempner found that a person who has a high oil diet, a high dairy, and high meat, it clogs the insulin receptors. I live in East Tennessee. We fry everything. Maters, taters, ice cream, pickles, Coca-Cola. They fry Coca-Cola. They fry Mountain Dew. If we can fry it, we fry it. If we don't fry it, we pour oil in it. My grandma would make a pot of green beans, and she would put more than 1 cup of vegetable oil in there, and it looked like an oil slick on it. And it tasted great to my southern tongue. Wouldn't now. Mary Lou changed it about 25 years ago. But our diets have a huge impact on what's going on inside the body. And Kempner then found the third thing that was huge in causing type 2 diabetes was inflammation. Now, Harvard University says the number 1 cause of inflammation is processed foods. Sleep deprivation can cause inflammation. So you want to address the issues causing inflammation. When we attack those 3 things, we see, when I work with folks and the key word is compliant, we see over a 98% reversal rate of type 2 diabetes. That's phenomenal. Depending. Juicing can be a good one. I use Kempner's diet that we talked about this morning, the fruit, the brown rice, the salad that has just lemon juice or salsa on it, no oil, no cheese, no meat, no salt, and then 1 cup of brown rice. And brown rice is what Duke used as the protein, the brown rice. Now, when I got to the clinic, I get to this clinic, I'm director of the clinic, and I don't know what I'm doing. I just knew I was changing. I was getting out of Dodge, and I was going to somewhere that did healthier things. And I get there, and I'm noticing that the diabetics, they're only serving breakfast and dinner. Now, dinner to a Southern boy is the noon meal. So, the breakfast and the noon meal. So I go into the physicians and I say, I'm their boss. I say, listen, you got to have a mid-morning snack. You got to have an afternoon snack. You got to serve them supper. You got to have an HS snack, hour of sleep snack. And they decided to play with me. Why? Well, it's a standard of practice. So the American Dietetic Association recommends. Then they asked me one more question. I walked out of the office. How many diabetics you reverse where you come from? In 20 years. Not one did I see in 20 years working in regular health care. So that wasn't enough. So I go back to the office. I sit down. That doctor I keep talking about, Agatha Thrash. So I called up her. I called Dr. Agatha. I said, Dr. Agatha, outcome indicators are good, but this is just way out there. Help me out on here. And so I tell her what's happening. She starts laughing. She says, well, that is how you reverse type 2 diabetes. Give them breakfast, give them dinner, fast them the supper. Don't give them mid-morning, mid-afternoon, or HS snack. That is how you reverse type 2 diabetes. Amazing, huh? Now, Kipner also found that exercise 4 times a day was huge in reversing type 2 diabetes. He looked at little humans, big humans, so he started doing like little humans, having recess 4 times a day. Then Loma Linda Medical School found that a 20-minute power walk lowers the blood sugar more than 1 shot of insulin.
Right after you eat.
You want to go take a stroll after you eat. Don't do a power walk after you eat. You want to do a stroll. And then later you can do a power walk. And so 4 times a day, it's like having 4 shots of insulin. If you're exercising and doing that, do the HIIT training where you go fast for 3, slow for 1, fast for 3, slow for 1. So. What? Oh, yes. So, any other questions? Pre-diabetes. It's the same thing. You just do the same thing, and you do it until you got a normal A1C. You got a normal. So you got an A1C of 5.6 or less. You got a fasting of 99 or less, and you have ideal body weight, and you're going to be good. It's amazing. So we're getting ready to finish. We're going to go wash our faces. Before we wash our faces, we need another picture with everybody's faces. Yes, ma'am. Yes. With fibroids, the 2 things I found best for fibroids, it's not as easy as diabetes. Diabetes is easier than toenail fungus. I'm serious. Diabetes is easy. Fibroids is a little tougher. Number 1 is stabilize estrogen. And the best way I found to stabilize estrogen is where Dr. Lee's work out in California is stabilizing progesterone. When you stabilize progesterone, you stabilize the estrogen, you stabilize the testosterone. The other is castor oil packs. That's the best 2 ways I know. Yes? Fibromyalgia. Mary Lou was told she had to have her gallbladder removed. I said, no. And were we still in regular health care or were we not? I don't remember. Yeah, and they said, we got to take her gallbladder. No, we ain't taking her gallbladder out. I'm not convinced of that. So then one of my secretaries, who was a nurse, she said, she was talking to Mary Lou. She says, I think you have fibromyalgia. So Mary Lou, she's going there and talk to Dr. So-and-so. And so she went in and they checked, and yes, she did have fibromyalgia. I mean, she was so bad, she could not eat popcorn. She could not eat wheat, anything. Couldn't eat spaghetti. It was painful. And so we found that if you address the adrenals, it could many times help with fibromyalgia. And so there's a product called AdrenaSense. It's just herbs. And she started using that, and the fibromyalgia went away. And what? Stinging nettle? Okay, she added stinging nettle to that. Oh, some people have found the same thing with nettle tea. Okay, but you use just the AdrenaSense. That's ADRENA, same word, SENSE, but capital A and capital S. Who's the brand? Natural Factors. ADRENA, SENSE, one word, capital A, capital S, and that is by Natural Factors. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Plantar fasciitis. Yes, that's your line of work. Yeah. You know, the tennis ball, the frozen water bottle, and the best thing I have found is 1 teaspoon twice a day of a good quality trace mineral. Why? I don't know. But it's amazing. People have come into me for years, And we've used 1 teaspoon twice a day of a good like concentrates, and use that twice a day, and it works extremely well for plantar fasciitis. Spray magnesium on it. It'd be worth trying. I like magnesium. I really do. She's saying try magnesium oil on it. Gallstones. Okay. So what you do is, I had a guy, he was flying from Czechoslovakia back home. He was a psychologist flying back to Virginia. And he was at Heathrow in England, had a gallstone attack, a gallbladder issue. They put him in the hospital. They said, you don't have our, you're an American with insurance thing, and put him back on the airplane and shipped him 8 hours over to Virginia. He went to UVA, University of Virginia. They're in Charlottesville. They said, your gallbladder's full of gallstones. We got to immediately, take it out. And he said, I want a second opinion. He called me. He said, would you take me? I said, are you stable? And he says, yeah, I'm stable now. I said, come on. And so what we did is for 3 days, we did dark apple juice. And the guy who taught me this, he was the top surgeon in Philadelphia in his field. He was also a trauma physician, and this is his protocol that he would use. And so he used dark apple juice, like what you'd buy in the grocery store in the refrigerated section that you can't see through very well. It's the pectin is what's happening. And you do a quart each day for 3 days. And that helps to soften the gallstone. Then the night, for at least 5 nights, depending on how bad it is. So I'll explain. So what you do is in the evening around 5 o'clock, you take 3 ounces of lemon juice, 3 ounces of olive oil. And if you don't have olive oil, you can do 2 ounces of coconut oil. And then a piece of ginger, size of your thumb, blend it up and drink it plumb down. Also take 30 drops of lobelia. Lobelia is an herb. It dilates the bile duct to help from getting stuck. Then you lay on your right side on a heating pad for 1 hour, and then get up and do what you need to do. Now, we started doing this when we started using it. We started doing it around 9 o'clock when the person went to bed. But I found that's not best, because for most people where I live, 3 ounces of olive oil ain't nothing, because we fry everything. I mean, they used to eat oil, But for people who aren't used to eating all that oil, then it may make them nauseous 2.5 to 3 hours later, which would be midnight, 11 o'clock. You don't want to wake them up and mess up their sleep. So do it around 5 o'clock. So if it does mess with them around 8, they're not asleep, drink some peppermint tea, and that can help resolve. Then that's what the ginger is supposed to be helping with, but sometimes it's not enough if you're not used to that amount of oil. That's going to backflush the gallbladder. It's also, if you backflush the gallbladder, you backflush the liver. If you backflush the liver, and if you have a gallbladder, you're going to backflush the gallbladder. Pardon? That's why you use the lobelia, to dilate the bile duct. Now, have you had imaging to show that it's super big? I would, if they've had imaging to show it's super big, then I'd be cautious. But if it's not super big, it's just normal gallstones, then we haven't had any issues with this. So it backflushes the liver, backflushes the gallbladder into the colon. The next morning you want to flush the colon because you don't want to reabsorb that nasty stuff. So you're going to take, now this is cool. This is really cool. I got a friend who's a GI. He's a gastroenterologist. And he had me come speak to a group of folks on a program like this several years ago. And I said, Joe, let me tell you what I've been doing to your patients for the last 19 years at the time. I said, they come to me and tell me they don't, when they're having a colonoscopy, they don't want to drink your nasty stuff. And I have them drink this, and you've never noticed it. You've never noticed? He goes, no, I've never noticed anything. And so he says, what are you doing? So I told him, he says, keep doing it. That's better than the stuff I give them. It literally will clean your colon out, clean enough that the gastroenterologist will think you just took Go Lightly or whatever. And so what you do is the next morning is you will take a half a gallon of warm water. Have you ever flushed a toilet with a bucket of water? You're flushing the toilet with a bucket of water. So your own toilet. So you take a half a gallon of warm water, volume helps the peristalsis, warm water helps the peristalsis. Add 5 teaspoons of sea salt in there, like Celtic salt in there, and now you've made it more isotonic, and then that's going to stimulate peristalsis. And put, say, 2 lemons in there for taste, just so it doesn't taste like salt water. And stay by the bathroom for 2.5 hours. If you only have one bathroom, don't have 2 people doing it. Now, if you want to really get interesting, now when Dr. Arcilla, the surgeon, taught me to do this, he came in, he was with us, I brought him on staff, and if you want to learn something, buy it from him, bring him on staff and get him to teach you, and that way you get to know what they're doing. And so Joel was a funny guy. He was a very, very smart guy. He was Filipino. And he would go and he would look at everybody's feces and draw it out, and he just had a fun time. And so what you do is you take a wire hanger, and go get that stuff at Walmart that you put under a woman's wedding dress, that crinoline stuff. A little bigger, not too big, but a little bit bigger, and staple it onto your wire hanger, put it on the toilet, put the seat down. You don't want it too short because it's going to cause a splash issue. And if it's too long, it's going to splash on the water. But anyway, so then you get a pitcher of water, a latex glove, or a glove, like a latex glove, and then a little cup. And then every time over that next 2.5 hours that you're having to go, you just take the pitcher of water, and if you see any little globules, and they may be small, they may be as big as your thumb, this first digit right here. They may be fluorescent green, they may be brown. And a lot of people think, oh, that's gallstones. May not be. Pick each one of them up and squeeze it. If it squeezes and it's not like a jelly bean, no, that's from the liver. That could be bile, it could be some cholesterol. Joel said that's from the liver. But if it's hard, keep that one. That could be your gallstones. You may not want to do that, but that's just interesting to me. Oh, so the drink in the morning is a half a gallon of warm water, 5 teaspoons of sea salt, and then the juice of 2 lemons. And you do this night, morning, night, morning. On average, it's 5 days. But what we would do is we juiced the folks during this time so we didn't have as much of a fecal issue because we cleaned them out by juicing. And so we would do this until they didn't have any fecal material in it, there was no more little globules in it, and it didn't stink. Joel wanted it to be clear and not stink. And usually, it could be as much as, Mary Lou did it, 11 days. And one morning, we got the nastiest stuff that came out. And Joel looked at it, another one of our physicians looked at it, and they go, it's got to be from her chemotherapy that she'd had years ago. He said, it's got to be. He says, it's not normal. And she had had the chemotherapy for 1.5 years when she was 15 and 16 years old. But so you do that on average for 5 days. Yes? Some people do Epsom salts. Yes, you can do Epsom salt. My grandfather did that a lot. He was a veterinarian. He did Epsom salt a lot, cleaning out horses and cows. Yeah, he'd take a bottle of a little Coca-Cola bottle, and he'd put Epsom salt in it and clean that horse out, clean that cow out. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes.
But my dear husband forgot to tell me about what happens after when I went to work.
You at work? Oh, no. Oh, no.
I made it to work, but it wasn't 2.5 hours. It was almost half a day.
Almost, oh, no.
For me.
Oh.
And then got a earache.
I bet he got an earache.
So I'm happy to participate in this.
Yeah, don't go to the other part of the house. No, there's not. Stay there. Stay nearby. It is colorful. You're right. Yes, it can be. Yes, it can. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So the question is about parasite cleanses. So yes, I don't know. Did y'all do parasite cleanses when you grew up in Florida? No? Did y'all in Columbia? Yes, papaya seeds. Yes. In the deep South, and I know this is the deep, deep South. Y'all are the deep South. But Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, we did spring cleaning. Where were you raised up? Australia. That's South. Yeah, that's South. It was funny. Yeah, it's deep South. We did y'all do spring cleaning?
It's a clean country all year round.
Okay. So we would do spring cleaning, some would do fall cleaning, and what they do is they take a teaspoon and they put in the teaspoon, they would put a little square of sugar, like what you'd feed the horse, a sugar cube. And then they put turpentine in there. Do not do this. Do not do this. Who knows what turpentine's like today? You know, it's in the paint department. Do not do this. But they would give that to the children every spring, and it would clean them out because all the parasites and worms and stuff that you got from eating all the pigs all winter long. Hogs are very big in the South. And so, but yes, parasite cleaning is good. You can do the pumpkin seeds, you can do papaya, you can do black walnut, wormwood, clove. Those are all good. And I like doing it for 2 weeks. That kills everybody. Wait a week for the babies to hatch, and then do another 2 weeks. But parasite cleanse is good. Oh, do it. Yeah, you can do it for your pets. You can do it for the babies. Yeah. For which is that? Oh, yes, yes. I had a lady bring her child in one time, and literally, it was a little white baby, and that baby looked like a little monkey. I mean, the skin, it literally looked like a monkey. And I said, don't take this child out no more. They'll take it away from you. We got to fix this baby. And we did a parasite cleanse, and it took care of the problem. It was just the worms, parasites, whatever, were just taking its nutrition, and it did clean that little child. It was worms is what was in that child. And it cleaned it out. They had a lot of worms in the feces, and the baby started putting on. The baby's doing well. It's a child now. But neem, that's a good question. Neem is used a lot topically. I know folks are scared to use it internally, so I've never used it internally. Have you used it internally?
But I never, because I grow it.
Yes?
So I make the capsules, but I never really took it for a certain period of time.
Okay.
I just tried to see how my body reacted.
What'd you take it for?
Well, because I wanted to do the parasites.
Okay, for parasites. Okay, yes. Yes.
But I never really took it for a long period of
Okay.
time because I was also wanted to.
Yeah, I've never done it by mouth. Yes. Yes.
I talked to the managers and stuff because they're like regenerative farms,
Mhm.
and I asked him, how do you keep the bugs from destroying
Yes,
it?
exactly.
And the only thing they use is neem oil.
That's right.
Don't buy any strawberries from Plant City, not unless they're organic. He
Yeah.
said tons of chemicals.
Exactly. Yes, neem oil is great to put on your growing. Moringa, yes, moringa is a great for putting in shakes or whatever. Some good energy from moringa. Yes, moringa's good. Just energy. It's good for energy. Which Walker? Oh, did he? Okay. Okay. She's saying that a chiropractor used it in his smoothies. Okay. Good. Okay.
Can we take the picture so they can?
Absolutely. Let's do that.
Finish our
Okay, good.
And we're supposed to be there at 4.
Oh, we're supposed to do it at 4. Okay, good. Okay, let's take a picture real quick. Okay. Okay, whoever's left, come on back. We're going to take a picture real quick.
Inflammation, they do the nutrient, the injection, and then they do the ozone, the oxygen at the end. It's the game changer. So, I'm not sure it is so I don't make anything. No. Yeah, I study natural. Yeah, that's why I come to these events because we take the toxins out of our life. So we never actually say my New Year's resolution. So 1999 said, okay, do your 2 pounds. I'm going to take all the toxins out of my life. And here it is 25 years later, I'm still, because every time there's an app, called UNA, YUKA, scanner. You can test cosmetics, you can test products, you can test everything.
Yes, they just changed it to jar.
How many things you use? All right, how many? Get your time.
Oh, I just want to let you know, I didn't want to decide
Why you pay
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
You did this side.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Anyhow, if you make the appointment, you can go together, to hike for you. So if it takes time, I would just take the turn time. And it's off of
My husband's name.
Linda Road. You can just look up on the map. That'll change your life. And then on mine, she can add the favorites so I can put on my favorites.
I'm here. Maryville, Marble.
Nice to meet you. I'm Diane. You know, John, you know what?
There is dig, yes,
I had
feel
bone
it.
on bone.
Thank you.
Oh, right? I feel like turning some links in my neck. I call myself Comfrey. So now they put me back together again, you know? And you can even look up the technique. Dr. Schollenberg, don't say it here, but here's Dr. Schollenberg. You can look at a YouTube one and try to, the only way you can do that is to be trained by him. Yeah. So, specialized skill sets. Did you actually, find out if you want to how they But anyhow, I think you'll be okay with it. They make so much money on this. This guy doesn't have a fancy office. You can see I have a big fancy office. Oh, dedication. Take this. Oh, yeah. He's making this big this guy, I mean, he's got normal, not like fancy. It's clear. That's all I can say. It'll change your life. Yeah. I mean, I've had so many, and I think shut down. The other thing, I think it's tiny, and they freeze it first, so it's like, and this is the difference between, I've been to 4 doctors that do this technique. The reason why this is a game changer is they do a guided ultrasound. So in other words, they have a wand and they, up on the monitor, they go, okay, here, the other one, they just, like, take a picture, and they go, okay, to the left, to the right, blah, blah, blah. This guy is all guided, so, yeah. Anyhow, it's nice meeting you guys. Yeah, yes. Let me know how it works out. Just tell him Diane.
They started what you instituted with the brown rice and flour, and I know there's two things just to get all that information from it properly. But I spoke to the family on the trust, and just encouraging him and just how to live life and how that's what I know that so we exercise, activities that we all do. You can see things that you do. Left, all right, shoulder, so hard. All his life and stuff. So we're just praying that he does everything he's supposed to and be disciplined.
Really cool.
Because when you told my mom told me about it, I jumped online and they said that with the 180 lifestyle change, you can have 10 years on the side. And that's what they're saying outside of the 180 that we know. So we're just like, you want to just going to take 4 years.
What's next to impossible? You have these
very disciplined when he wants to be, so now he wants to but thank you very much, because she's saying your praises, and I was like, this gentleman, I've never heard of him, and I know Mark, and he sat there, and I saw your name, wait a minute,
Okay, let's get started, y'all. I need some help.
You're going to demonstrate the Cayenne with the olive
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Except this lady. I'm going to demonstrate this lady. Come on up.
Perfect.
Come on up. We're going to demonstrate this lady. Pardon? Well, did she do half or whole? Bring her on up too. So, what do you think about your face? How's it feel? Smooth? Yeah, what's mom and dad say? Smooth? All right. Now tell me, come here and help me. Can you tell a difference in one side of her face and the other side of her face? Feel it. Now feel the other side. Can you tell a difference? What's the difference?
Like one side's kind of more smoother.
She didn't do it on both sides. She only did it on one side to see if there was a variance on the other side. Take a look at her face, y'all. It's amazing. Thank you.
Can you tell which side?
Yeah, the right side looks good.
Yes. And it's so much. The other side's terrible, I know.
Yes, thank you. Okay, thank you, ma'am. So you can feel it. Okay, so, can you come help me? You want to come help me? Come on. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a poultice. It's a Cayenne poultice. It can be used on pain, like knee pain, elbow pain, pain somewhere. You can put it on the base of your feet if you want to warm up. So we're going to make a Cayenne poultice. So what we'll do is we'll take this here, and then y'all are going to make your own. I think y'all have, are they going to make, oh, they don't have it. Okay, just I am. Okay, pardon? Oh, she wiped you out. Okay.
What do you need, sir? Sorry.
Got it. So what we're going to do, I'm going to pour the oil on, and then you going to come help me? Come on, let's go. So I tell you what, you pour the oil on, and you're going to pour the Cayenne, okay? So what we're going to do is real carefully pour the oil on like this. It doesn't take a mess of it. Just a little bit, just go over it, and you'll see once we get going.
That's olive oil.
This is olive oil. Yes, okay. Oh, okay. Hang on a second. So what we're going to do is come back over here, this, here, and then we'll go like that. Perfect. All right, we've got it. Okay, so now we got the olive oil there to hold it. Now you're going to sprinkle just like this. Let me take a look real quick. Yep, okay, that's good. So, yep.
Now, do you have a preference?
It came out.
Yeah, it's coming out.
Okay, come on. Keep coming.
You gotta take the lid open.
A little more. Keep going.
It's coming out.
Keep going.
It's coming out.
Okay, a little more. Good job. Keep going. Good job. Good job. Okay, that's good. So, is there a difference in Cayenne?
That's what I was about to ask you. If you had a preference on Cayenne.
Oh, yeah, there's a big difference. Come up to Gatlinburg, up to a little town called Pigeon Forge, and you go into the Pepper Palace. This cayenne is probably 20,000 HUs. The cayenne pepper in the Pepper Palace, which is called the Carolina Reaper, is 2.1 million. So it does matter. It does matter. So usually the cayenne Mary Lou gets is probably 90, 180. Yeah, 180 at the most. So there's a cayenne they measure in something called heating units. If you had the 2.1 million, you would not want that much on there. I wouldn't even use that cayenne pepper. So even at 600,000, I have to wear a mask because I can't even breathe it. It will set my lungs on fire, just being with it. Yeah. So can you imagine the 2.1? So then what you do is you apply it to the affected area, place it to the bottom of the feet, and that will help to increase circulation. If you ever want, cayenne is a catalyst. If you ever want two herbs to do a better job, put cayenne in there, and it makes them work better. Now, cayenne pepper, Dr. Phil Collins taught me this. Cayenne pepper, cooked, changes the molecular state to where it becomes an irritant to the mucosa. If it's cooked. So what you do, cook your food. Once it's cooked, then add your cayenne pepper, and it aids the mucosa. It's the inside lining of the stomach. And so 26 years ago now, my gastroenterologist told me I was going to die. I had no intact tissue on my colon, none at all. I had something called ulcerative colitis, so bad that he told me, well, you're dying. You're going to die. My skin was gray in color. I had gone from 210 pounds down to 140 pounds, and just many, many more things that was going on. And he said, you know, people can die from ulcerative colitis. And he said, I don't think we can fix you. And so I went to another doctor. And this doctor did natural. In 6 months, I was totally healed. And he used cayenne pepper to stop the bleeding, and it would stop the bleeding. I would have over 30 loose stools a day. Much of it was blood along with it. And it felt like, I mean, literally it felt like someone would stab you with it's called the knife. And, oh, it's so painful. But cayenne pepper would stop the bleeding. And so you can use it for a number of things. But it's real simple. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yes. Pardon? Oh, for flu? You can use cayenne pepper. You can put it in your, you can take it internally as a capsule. We use it a lot for cardio. It's good for cardiovascular issues. It's a vasodilator. And so I have guys that come, I don't have ladies do it, but I have guys come to me and they say it works better than nitro. And they'll squirt cayenne under their tongue, extract, and they say it works better than nitroglycerin. It's increasing that circulation. And so it's going to be good for hypertension because it's a vasodilator. Yeah, but what's cool is, it's interesting, it stops bleeding. So, like Mary Lou went to get some avocados and back years ago when we had a weird setup and a brick held the thing on top, and we just started the store, and she went to move it we were going to camp meeting, and she jerked on it too much, and the brick came down and busted her head. And she was just bleeding like a stuck hog. And Walter came in, just poured cayenne pepper on it, and it stopped. Cayenne pepper on her head, it just stopped the bleeding. It works well. It burns a little bit, but stops bleeding. You ought to have seen her when I stung her with bees when she had breast cancer, and we had been addressing the breast cancer for a number of months, 6 months maybe, at least 9 months, and it just wasn't. It would get big and then shrank down, and the image say, a part of a pea size, very small, and get big again. And so a friend of mine, a German physician, came in, and I said, Sam, what do I do? He said, sting her. Okay, what do I do? Because, I want her to live, and it wasn't working too good, what we were doing. And it was going back and forth. It wasn't a home run. So he said, sting her 3 to 5 times. Go distal away from the tumor, what you can palpate, feel, 1 inch. And leave the stinger in for 30 minutes, and do that every day for 14 days. Well, I had bees, so I took her home the next morning. We went out to the beehive, and I got some plastic tweezers, like what you pick dates up out of the box. Got some tweezers, picked up a bee, stung her, and she cried. Waited about a minute, picked another one up, stung her again. He said 3 to 5, so I did 5. I want to make sure it worked. And we went like a star, points away from, and left them the stingers in for 30 minutes, pulled the stingers out, put bee propolis on it. You could put alcohol, just something I poked a hole in her, so we need to put something on there. And so we did it for 14 days, and it started getting smaller and smaller, and the cancer went away. She's been now 17 years, breast cancer free. Yeah. And so, there's that German physician that was using, he was using bee stinging. Yeah. So, let's say that was 2 different times. She had acute myelocytic leukemia at 15 and 16. So a year and a half she was on chemotherapy for that. And then when she was in her 40s, she then had breast cancer. But here's the interesting thing. 5 years ago, she started having some challenges, wheezing, fine crackles, and at night I could hear it. So we got a chest X-ray, and the radiologist said, I think it's COPD, emphysema. She had smoked for 18 years. Her father smoked, so she smoked, right? Secondhand smoke, side stream smoke. Yeah. So she had smoked for about 18 years. And that's why the pulmonologist, the radiologist thought, well, it's probably just emphysema. Well, it got worse and worse. It finally went to the point she could not even go up and down the stairs at the house. So we had to change what was going on. So we went back, had a guy do a workup on her, and a friend of mine, and the problem was it was the same hospital that had done the imaging. So he pulls up the imaging and goes, oh, it's just emphysema. Because they'd already had that in her file. That was in the morning. That afternoon around 2 o'clock, he calls me back. He says, Walt, bring her back first thing in the morning. I think she has what killed my wife 2 years ago. Okay? That's an interesting rude awakening. So the next morning we go back. They did a full cardiac checkup. Her EF was 1015, ejection fraction, 1015, which isn't good. They said they were just sure that she had some type of a blockage, but in the imaging it showed it was global, not regional, not very. And so I said, I'm not sure about it being a blockage. Went in, and the cardiologist had gone in and looked. He said, well, I wish, he had been right. He said, I could have fixed it with a stent or something. He said, it's global, the whole left ventricle. And he says to Mary Lou, have you ever taken this drug? She says, yeah. He said, that drug has taken out your heart. It's also taken out your mitral valve. They said if she did not have a mitral valve within 1 year, she would die. Now she's got an EF of 10 to 15. It takes a 35, they said, to put in a new mitral valve. So can't even put one in because it's not strong enough. So went to UAB, University of Alabama at Birmingham. They literally, when you looked at her left ventricle moving it was moving like this. That was it. That was it. Now, they have the advanced cardiac team there. The guy over the advanced cardiac team called his nurse in, says, stay here. He goes back to the desk and puts her on the transplant ward floor. Fortunately, didn't have to do a transplant. All the meds that they had would sink her blood pressure because she didn't have, the normal problems. What was the drug she had taken? The Red Devil, adriamycin. And she had taken adriamycin, which is a chemotherapy drug, back when she was 15 and 16. And 44 years later, the average time that UAB said it takes for it to take out a heart is usually 10 years, what they find. The longest they've ever seen in their history is 25. Mary Lou now has the record of 44 years. They said it's based on your lifestyle, that you've made it 44 years. Yes? Yes. So her EF now is a 35-40. You see her whipping around. It's not enough yet to open the deli back, but I said we need to get at least a 55. I'd like to see a 65 EF, but it's working well, but doing natural. Well, it wasn't an artery issue. They said her vessels were clear as could be. It was damage due to a chemotherapy drug that she had taken. It's called adriamycin. Pardon? So, yes, so what we did is we did a number of things. We did hawthornberry, CoQ10, a lot of magnesium, a lot of vitamin C, L-carnitine. What else? Yeah, MSM, and BF and C, bone, flesh, and cartilage, and the vitamin C. Oh, yes, magnesium oil. Yeah, magnesium oil is tremendous over the heart. It gets to that muscle very quickly. And then also far infrared was a huge benefit because, see, far infrared increases perfusion. So she has very poor perfusion. And so by increasing that perfusion by the far infrared, it aided in the perfusion of both the heart and vascularly the whole rest of the body. So the far infrared was very good. I have not found something on a vegan side to do a good job. But one thing to do is drink plenty of water. That at least helps some fluid. You're dehydrated. You're less fluid in your. But I haven't. There are some things that they use that are not vegan, but I just haven't used those. Yes. Does the person have neuropathy? I wouldn't do it. With neuropathy, you have to be careful because you don't have good vascular flow with neuropathy, potentially, and you don't want to do something that, yes, can increase circulation, but I don't want it to burn it and you not be able to feel it. That's what I don't want to do. I would put some magnesium oil on there. Do some warm, cool hydrotherapy. That would be good. And then does the person still have diabetes? Yes. Get rid of the diabetes. Get to the root cause. That compliance is important.
That's a problem.
Sciatica. I like inversion table has been beneficial. When I was 17, I got sciatica. Every PT I'd hire at work, I'd say, fix my sciatica, and they never did. Never could until 2003. I had an old guy. He was so old, he was a Nazi youth, or Hitler youth. He was a Hitler youth. And his mama saw something was going on bad. They escaped from Germany and came to America. He went to work at Battle Creek, Michigan. Then he got his hydrotherapy, he got his massage, went to Loma Linda, got his PT, and he was retired, and he just would work some for me. And one day he came to the office and said, well, can I help you with anything? I'm fine. He goes, no. I mean, you can tell ambulation issues. Well, you got sciatica. And he said, come on down. So I went on down. He did, I think it was 5 modalities. First thing he did is he put a hydroculator pack on it, which is hot. Then he did some deep tissue massage. He did E-stim, And then he did ultrasound. Now, his ultrasound was a tube unit. It had tubes in it. And he said that ultrasound was developed by the Nazis to cause pain for torture. And it was so high, he said that if he went across the spine, it would shatter the spine, is how high he had it on me. Insane, huh? And so he would do that section. If he wanted the other side, he'd lift it up, come across, and do it. And so he offered it to us later for us to use it. And I said, no, I don't want that machine because I don't want my staff talking to somebody and run across and fracture their spine. 5 treatments, 5 different days. Sciatica was gone, and that was in 2003. It's been gone. Go to a good PT and see if that PT may help you. Yeah, and you can try inversion table. I've literally seen inversion table, but the PT is the person you need to talk to. We have a couple questions here. Let's ask these, and then we're going to have to quit. What can I add to aloe for a poultice for eczema? You can apply it just straight topically, but I'm finding probably the best attack on eczema is gluten-free or not having the American 42 chromosomes. And even if it's einkorn, Mary Lou's ordered einkorn twice, einkorn, stating that it's 16 chromosomes. They said there's 16. You can do a 14 chromosome. Stating it was low chromosome. I sent one batch off to UT. It was 42 chromosomes. I sent another batch off that she got to a place up in New York, up north somewhere, and it was 42 chromosomes. So just because it says einkorn does not mean and I asked them, why? I asked University of Tennessee, Department of Agriculture, why? It was sold to me as low chromosome einkorn. They said cross-pollination. It could have just cross-pollinated, and it contaminated it, and it became a 42 chromosome. But Dr. Agatha taught me to do that. I used to use, what happened was, in 2008, I called her and said, Dr. Agatha, what am I doing wrong? Eczema, rosacea, psoriasis is not going away anymore. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing calendula, I'm doing oatmeal. That usually worked well, topically, and chaparral. And she said, it used to, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore for the most part. I said, what is it? She said, it's the new wheat. She said, just one cracker of regular wheat can kick on psoriasis, eczema, and rosacea for 2 to 2.5 months. She says it can take 3 to 4 months to fully get it out of your system. And so the challenge is, even though the wheat we buy may say einkorn, from what we found in our research, it may not even be einkorn.
How do you clean your gut?
So how do you clean the gut? I like marshmallow root. I like slippery elm. I like licorice root. I like aloe vera. I like doing, if you want to really give some good nutrients to that stomach or into the smaller, large intestines, I'll do a 21-day potato soup, which is potatoes, carrots, celery, and onions. It's amazing the phytochemicals in that help to provide nutrients to the stomach or to the whole gut area.
Potato, carrot,
Celery and onions, yes. Also like using, I like peppermint, I like spearmint, aloe vera is huge, carrot powder is huge. And
wait, aloe vera, you put it in the blender?
no, well, that's a good question because there are some aloe vera plants that have a chemical in it can be irritant. And so you got to be smart and know which aloe vera plant you use. I don't know the difference in them plants. And so I just buy it where it's already, someone knows what they're doing. Now, yes, so if a person has knowledge, let's say a person from South America, a person from Mexico, a person from the islands, someone that has knowledge, because there's different aloes, and some aloe plants can have something that's an irritant. You can go and cut this and then blend it up, put some water in it, and drink it. But you just want to make sure it's not going to cause an irritation, further irritation. Or you can just take the aloe, and I do it on an empty stomach, 2 to 4 ounces, 2 to 3 times a day. I like 3 times a day. 2 to 4 ounces, 3 times a day. It's very, very good to heal the gut. Pardon? No, that's it. That's it. And the other thing is you want to stop all caffeine. Caffeine's like gasoline. All dairy, all wheat. And so you're not putting, and try to manage stress. Stress is terrible on the gastrointestinal system. Yes. Yes. Protein. Okay.
How would you suggest to use maybe Cayenne? That's what Barney said to use Cayenne, but she didn't have, experience with it.
Yeah, I don't have with that. I don't have it with that either. I don't know. How bad does he have an issue of bleeding?
Well, he bruised easily.
Yeah.
And, well, now because he's a lot thinner, now
Yeah.
I would like him not to be on the blood thinner.
Yeah. Have you ever tried nattokinase? Do some research on that. Nattokinase, Dr. Agatha, she introduced me to nattokinase, garlic. Dr. Phil Collins would use 6 ounces of Concord grape juice 3 times a day. I like natto the best, probably, or natto as they pronounce it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, water. You're dehydrated, you're going to have thicker blood. So you want to drink adequate water too. Yeah, you can try some Cayenne, but just be careful. We don't want someone bleeding to death, so you want to be cautious. Yes. What's that? Parkinson's. Yeah, it's getting tougher. So we used to use something called CBD oil, and CBD oil worked really well at first. Now, if you want to look at somebody, now down here, you may have some problems with me saying this. When I used to go to the Kiwanis Club in West Palm, and you should hear the battles on Friday afternoons between the Kiwanis members who went to, where they went to Tallahassee or they went to Gainesville or went to Miami. But University at Gainesville, they've done a lot of study on CBD, and the way they used to extract it was with alcohol, and now they use, I forgot what the extraction method is. The old method is much more effective than the new method. The new method I'm finding not working. You got to go back to the old method, and if you want to do some research on CBD, University of Florida, they're in Gainesville, has done quite a bit. And I asked them one time, why does CBD work for some people and some people it doesn't? And they said it depends on the amount of cannabinoids a person has in them. If they have adequate cannabinoids in them, because CBD raises the cannabinoids. And if they don't have enough, if they have plenty of cannabinoids, it's not going to be as beneficial because it doesn't have to raise it. But that can be beneficial. One physician found that riding a bicycle was beneficial for his patients. Dancing has been found to be beneficial. I don't recommend this one. That's boxing. I mean, I would not want to hit that person's head. I mean, they've already got issues. But dancing, riding a bicycle, something has to do with that. Literally, I watched a guy who he had significant challenges talking, ride a bicycle, come back, and he talked just fine. Another one I found to be beneficial in Parkinson's is far infrared. I have seen folks come in and literally for hours after not shake at all. And so far infrared is a tool that I think would be good for a Parkinson's person to have. Have it at home, say a far infrared sauna. Use it. You can easily use it 20 minutes. That's the recommendation. You can use it longer. It's not a problem. But using that multiple times a day would be what I would recommend. Yeah. Oh, yeah. For the gut issue, don't drink coffee. Don't drink caffeine. Don't do caffeine. Don't do meat, dairy, meat, any of that. Yeah, wheat. So the herbs are slippery elm, marshmallow root, peppermint, spearmint, carob powder, peppermint. I'm sorry, not peppermint. Licorice root. Marshmallow, slippery elm, peppermint, spearmint, carob, and licorice root. Those are all good for healing that gut area. Yes. Yes. So you can go to that right there and go to my YouTube channel, and you can watch a bunch of stuff on the YouTube. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Stop by later, and I'll share with you. Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Yes. Yes. I've taken y'all 16, 17 minutes too long. I apologize. But the second question. Just a minute. Second question. Okay. What can be used for nerve damage due to 6 months therapy I did for a positive TB tuberculosis back in 2009? At the time, I was not awake. I should never do TB tests because I was given the vaccination as a child. And so it's just nerve damage is what they're saying because of an injection where they hit a nerve maybe? Is that what happened? Nerve, for dealing with nerve issues, B vitamins are really good for nerve issues. You can also try some hydrotherapy. You can try the far infrared. Far infrared is good to heal nerve tissue. But I like B vitamins a lot for nerve damage. All right. Let's see here. Where did Sonia go? Sonia? Okay. Let's see where she went. I know. Let me answer another question while she's coming. If someone can find her. Yes. Okay, if you can find her. Yes.
Essential tremors, is that the same protocol as for Parkinson's?
So essential tremors, Copaiba is the best thing I have found for essential tremors. Copaiba. Copaiba. Copiaba. It comes from you'd know better, Brazil, Copaiba. Copaiba is a tree, and Copaiba is the best. It's the most anti-inflammatory of all phytochemicals in the world, and it's the best thing I have found for essential tremors, besides, again, B-complex, lithium ortate, magnesium, that kind of thing. Well, thank you all.
Thank you. Let's give Walt a hand. Thank you so much for everything. We'll see you again next year. I just wanted to thank everyone so much for coming. What did you all think? Did you enjoy yourself? Oh, praise God. Praise God. Did everybody here register? Yes. Okay, so everybody's registered? Okay, so just one person didn't register. Okay, so we'll get you registered. 2 people? Okay. So whoever you are, we'll get you registered. And we also wanted to let you know that after this class, we're going to have a training class. Because one thing is to do it once, but we really need to learn how to do it, okay? Because we want to be able to truly send you out and help somebody else. So we didn't do the singing nettle, which that was my fault because I forgot to buy the certain water, distilled water. So I apologize for that. But we still want to do it. So before Walt leaves, we're going to videotape him on how to do it, and then he's going to teach us through the video. And then we're going to do it. But we want everybody to learn, so we want to be able to practice this. So who's on board as to when we say, hey, we're having these practice lessons, who's coming back? Awesome. Okay. So within the next couple of weeks, we don't want to lose this, so we want to continue, okay? We're going to be those medical missionaries that we need to be. All right, well, I just want to thank everyone for coming. Everybody here, you guys are awesome, and we praise God for you. Before Walt prays, Linda has some words that she wants to say.
If you have a pen that you don't need, I think Louisa had a basket that we were going to collect pens that you didn't need anymore. A pen? Collected the pen? collecting the pens. Okie dokie. All right, so we wanted to collect those. Also, we have a basket here. If you feel inclined and you would like to give some kind of a thank offering for the presentations that we've had this weekend, please go ahead and leave it in the basket, and then we will share that with Walt and Mary Lou. So.
And one last thing, if there's something that you're interested in purchasing that is not here, speak to Mary Lou. She's a plethora of information. She can tell you what you need, and they can mail it to you. And if you place an order of over $100, you get free shipping. So, and if you are interested in purchasing Barbara O'Neill books, we have them at the other table. So, again, thank you for coming. Oh, question? No, listen, first of all, it's not I, it's us. We are a team, and this is all of us. Especially you're a wonderful volunteer. So it's all of us. And if it wasn't for you guys coming, what's the purpose of us doing this? So everyone is so important. We're thankful for all of you. So may God bless you, and may you travel safely.
All right, well, let's close with prayer. Our dear Heavenly Father, Lord, again, we thank you for your love and your care and your patience with us as we continue to learn. Lord, give us that desire to be better today than yesterday and better tomorrow than today. And we thank you for these natural remedies that are so powerful in addressing so many issues. Give us the wisdom on how to use them so that we not just be happy with what we know today, but we continue to learn, that we continue to sharpen the saw, that we can be better in what we do. But Lord, help us ever remember it is not us, it is not the herbs, it is you that does the healing. Lord, place those folks in front of us that we can have an opportunity, that we can share health issues with them, and then at that time give the credit to you, and that we can share your Son's love and what he did for us, that they can have the possibility of going to heaven and spending eternity. Give us that desire. Give us that hankering to do that. Lord, be with the folks as they go home. Send your angels before them. Keep them safe. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. We're just going to, if you can help, we're just going to take up the tablecloths and throw them in the garbage. And I want to thank you all again for coming, and most importantly, thank God for being with us today.